big up, big up, big up. Hopefully you can hear me. So get a couple things set up. And it's already 1-0, by the way, in this Crystal Palace Arsenal matchup at the Emirates. Big up to Abdul. Big up to those that are joining us for this. It's really like it's kind of like just having you over to the house and just not really so much your typical watch along. More so, it's set up so that we can just enjoy the game. Hopefully, see a Crystal Palace result and be able to experience what it would be like to possibly have the title wrapped up live, which would be fantastic. But in case in case we don't get into that setting, it's all the same. We're still with company, still with good friends, still with good family, Reds family, which is the best family we can ask for. And it's an opportunity to talk about whatever's on your mind, whether it's different subjects about across the Premier League, whether it's about subjects about our own team, whether it's about the rivals that we have that we would like to always banter and make fun of. It's either or. But right now it's 1-0 Arsenal, Crystal Palace. 5 minutes in, I might be a little bit off on my timing from other people's updates or streams, but that's what I have so far as my settings. So big up to Norm. Big up to Norm. I see you in the house. Big up. We are well. We are all well, by the way. So we will possibly be joined by Lee. I know that Lee's been texting me to see what time we're going to be doing this. And maybe even Brian or some of the other crew, if they are free and available, or if not doing their own streams as we currently speak, they possibly might be, because now all the crew, I think every member of the crew has their own channel, which is great. It's more options and more abilities, or more options out there, more ample time to join our fellow Red to talk about our beloved game here. So right now, I know there's a lot that's on some people's minds when it comes to the different things that we're going to be going through when it comes to our team. Whether it's transfers, whether it's the idea that maybe, just maybe, and I'll big up to Jimmy, by the way. Big up, Jimmy. Maybe, just maybe, number 66 decides to stay. Ooh, it's a giveaway. Slight giveaway. Crystal Palace trying to push for an equalizer right now. There's nothing. But there's a slight chance that we might see number 66 stay with Liverpool. I ask in all honesty, and this is the truth, I do ask in all honesty, would that make a difference in how you view? Okay. Big up. Norm, I just saw what you're. I'll post that in 1 second. What I was just saying is, does that make a real difference in how and what you feel is Trent's legend? I mean, if he ends up really saying to the world that he's chosen Liverpool, that he's chosen to stay in his home, chosen to continue with this project, does that not enhance, for some reasons, for others, does that not enhance maybe the legend that could be Trent Alexander-Arnold? Or does leaving the way that he could possibly choose to do, and it hasn't been said whether either one or the other, will that really have a big impact in how you view Trent Alexander-Arnold? I was just wondering, because I know there's still the opportunity, there's still the chance that he might choose to stay. I know some might think of that as being hopeful. Some might be thinking of it as being naive or, but there is a chance. There is a chance that he does choose to make that decision to stay. He's seen some of his fellow living legends decide to make that choice, and you heard the words that they've used in describing the situation at Liverpool. Whether he believed, like Mo Salah saying how he believes that they are not only set up to win, but they are focused on winning more. And you hear, Virgil saying it was always Liverpool, which is kind of interesting for him to say, considering that if it was always Liverpool, then he probably should have made that choice a long time ago. You should have put us at rest, but I understand. It means it means like it is what it is, I guess. And it's funny when you hear that. It's like, oh, it was always Liverpool. Oh, it was always Liverpool. Then why didn't you just, put all of our minds at rest and say, yeah, it's always Liverpool from the very gate, so that we know that that it's not necessarily watching you play up our emotions somewhat, but all the same. But yes, good to see Alexander in the house. Big up. Once again, this is a watching from the bleachers, I guess you could say, from the rivalry bleachers, the bleacher seats, in that kind of got one eye on the game. It's a little watch along. Yes, it would be great to see us get a result from Crystal Palace today. That way, we could be able to rejoice, react live. Basically, that's the reason why we're doing this. I have no interest in really watching Arsenal play per se. Even less interest in watching Crystal Palace play. But yes, I think it would be kind of cool though if we were able to watch it and see what happens. And if it does, then at least we'll be live. If it doesn't happen, hey, then we'll be able to possibly take care of our own business when it comes to Sunday. So that is what it is. But big up to those that are joining us again. And I didn't get a real answer from the chat. I do want to know what your answer is. We got Brian in the green room right now. He's chilling. He'll be joining us pretty soon. I think also we might be joined also by Lee, like I said earlier, maybe even JK or maybe Bernie or all the likes of the crew, the cast and crew might be popping in and saying hello. Maybe they could bring a little bit more better fortune to the current situation right now. But being the game at least. But big up to everyone that's joining us. Big up. Alexander says, yeah, Palace will be battered, so I'll be watching the Milan Derby. Got you, brother. I got you. I guess it's the AC Milan, possibly. So let me bring in Lee. Big up, Lee. How you doing?
Good, mate. Good. I'm in something of a quandary. I'm not sure whether I want Crystal Palace to win. It'd be a minor miracle if they did win, and we'd still.
Oh, sorry. Almost scored. Crystal Palace is pushing. They're pushing.
Oh. Yeah, I'm in a bit of a quandary over I want it to happen tonight or whether I want it to happen on Sunday. But as far as I know, it wouldn't be done mathematically anyway tonight because the goal difference, wouldn't it? You know what I mean? It wouldn't be absolutely certain mathematically because of the goal difference.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's probably the better way to look at it. Although it will be over, there's no way they'd turn that goal difference round in a few games. It wouldn't be 100% mathematically impossible because of goal difference. Anyway, whatever. We're going to win the league, aren't we? It's just when. Just a matter of when.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be a matter of time. I thought the reason why I'm doing this little bit of like watch along slash, let's just, have Red's company over at the house um and it's one of those things where it'd be how cool would it be if we're live and we end up getting to watch us basically be throne champions, It'd be kind of cool. So that's why. So I was asking this question earlier. I didn't really get a response from the chat, maybe because they're a little tempered with their choice of whether they be, I don't want to say angry, but how it would affect their opinions on the player. But we saw a lot be basically we saw a lot be really depicted or basically dissected from what happened with the goal with Trent Alexander-Arnold against Leicester. Everything was like super, analyzed all the way down to why he took his shirt off, why he was he trying to give it was he trying to say that he's taking his kit off maybe for one of the last times or something. I've heard so many different ways of like breaking down a celebration. It's called a man's just happy. You know what I mean? He's excited and in the moment. But all the same, there's even been some different things about how and what this means or what this says about his status, his legendary status.
Well, he didn't have the Real Madrid kit on, did he? Underneath his Liverpool kit, when he took his top off, remember, speculated that he might do that for a laugh. I knew he wouldn't. Like, it was just a joke, obviously. But imagine that if he just took his top off and then ran around the entire circumference of the Anfield like pitch in the Real Madrid shirt. Trent.
I thought of it as like, would you, if this hypothetically, because this is now started to creep up, because there hasn't still been any definitive word of yes he's leaving or no he's not leaving, right? If he were to decide to stay, do you think that solidifies him as like Stevie G style legendary status in the sense of being that he chose a Scouser that chose to stay with his boyhood club? Do you think that would cement him as being that legendary status, or do you think that if he chooses to go to Real Madrid, does all that kind of get washed away?
Here's the way I'd like to put it as a Scouser myself. I'd say he's already got legendary status for winning 2 leagues and a Champions League and being a big player under Klopp, and now we're in the league under Slot. But it could be enhanced, it could be buffed up, this shiny vision of him. It could be buffed up substantially by him re-signing. But if he doesn't, he'll still be a legend for what he's done for the club, for me. I've always liked him anyway. He's a nice guy, Trent, like, and that. So I wish him well, as I've said.
Okay. Edward says his legacy won't be the same for him. Yeah, because there are people that it just won't be the same. It just won't be the same.
It could be better. It could be better if he stayed, as I said. It could make it all the more. But, these things happen in football. It's not the first time it's happened, is it? Like, it's not exactly something we've never seen before.
Yeah. So, Brian, I'll ask you the question. Do you feel the same way? Are you like Edward? Does his legacy change if he ends up moving on, or does his legacy stay? Or was that something of like that game winner that pushed us one step closer to winning this title? Does that maybe just solidify the fact that yes, he's a legend? Stop the the nonsense. He's free to go wherever he wants to go in his life. It's his life to choose, which it is. But his legacy will forever be as a legend for you.
Well, no, like Lee said, especially if you get the league. Well, when we get the league this year, it's yeah, it's bittersweet kind of. I don't think he's trashed anything or like tarnished anything beyond kind of repair. I think with the passing of time, it'll probably be a lot. I'm sure like people kind of welcome him back. But it's very part that stuff is very it's very personal how you feel about that. Some people like I know some people just they've taken down all their posters, they've thrown out all their trend shirts, never want to see him again. And then other people are just like, well, thank him for what he did and watch him go on somewhere else. It is very personal, but I think yeah, considering you like I heard someone say the other day, and I know them and they're okay, so I didn't really want to get into it. But they were stamping their feet and they were having a bit of a tantrum and they were accusing Trent of having acted like a child all season. And
Mm.
I had to bite my tongue so hard. I was like, in what way has he acted like a child? How has he acted like a child? He's shut up, he's got on with his job, he hasn't created any issues off the pitch. All that's wrong is like, people want him to stay and he's not staying. I don't think he's been acting like a child in any way. I don't think he's come out with like, stories or interviews with agents or anything. So he's leaving, which isn't great, but I think he's done it. And like, there's no easy way to walk out on your club.
Mm.
So I think,
Mm-hmm.
he's kind of doing it in the least disrespectful way. So I don't won't really hold it against him.
I was a bit
I
annoyed at first,
like
like, I was a bit annoyed at first. It was like, why would you want to leave the club now? We're doing so well. But I got used to it quickly. And a player's career is very short. Like, when you think about it, it's a short period of time that they've got. If he wants to do something else, that's his decision. It's always a player's decision. They can do exactly what they want with their careers. And we're not really anyone to tell them that they can't, are we? I'm not sure. Like, I'd turn Real Madrid down if I played for Liverpool and I got the chance. I'm not sure I'd turn them down. I'll say
Right.
that.
yeah,
Okay.
it's to me, it's I'm never annoyed unless like, and it's never really happened. Like unless like say such and such a player went out and gave an interview talking about how horrible it is to have to play at Liverpool and how horrible it is to live in the city and how they
Mm.
just can't wait to get out. Unless and we've never really had that. So whenever I don't really doesn't I'm not a players person, especially when they're still playing.
Mm.
I'd big up players after they've retired, like when they're still there, like just get on with the job. It always just disappoints me about the club. It always
Mm.
hits me and it's like the idea that our club isn't good enough or strong enough or appealing enough for these guys to want to stay at it. It always kind of hurts me about the club, not about the actual player
Mm,
themselves.
mm.
It's like you say about wanting to be able to attract, these big players that go to Madrid and Barcelona. It's like it kind of gets me there. It's like why aren't we big enough and good enough for them to want to stay here? If they
I
Right.
want to
think,
leave, they want to leave. But what
yeah.
hurts me is about the club can't keep a hold of them.
See,
Right.
it's got extra bites, hasn't it? Because we're doing well at the moment. We're about to be crowned champions again. And at least when Torres and players like him and Morelos left for
Mm.
Chelsea, it was because Chelsea were a better bet for winning trophies. We are a good bet for winning trophies now. But at the end of the day, I repeat, a player's career is very short. It's like 15 years or something, if that in some cases. And
Average.
they do want to try other things. It's a huge year, isn't it? Real Madrid's always been a
But
huge
he
year.
definitely didn't think we were winning the league this year. I can tell you that. When Klopp left and when he was kind of sitting there in August deciding not to sign a new deal, he's happy for this. But there's absolutely no chance he would have thought we were winning the league this year.
He probably thought it was over as it was on the clock, didn't he? Like, and that we'd just be like top four fodder.
Yeah.
Bradley as well. Bradley's good as well. It's just
yeah. The I think that what's wild is that rather than wait to hear what it is, there have been some people that have gone to the extremes of like burning his kit already or doing stuff like, pretty over the top.
Renaming their children.
Yeah.
Renaming their. I'm sure there's a few Trents. I'm sure there's a few Trents or Alexanders out there across Merseyside born in the last few years.
Yeah. That's something. That's a little wild.
When I was actually a child, a schoolboy, I did smash a couple of things over football because I got so angry over football. I smashed something until it was like just pieces. And that's what burning your kit is. Like, if you're doing that as an adult, there's something wrong.
Especially if you paid £100 for it. I mean, burn something else. Burn a photo or something.
Yeah, they're expensive, man. It's expensive. I used to hate it when I smashed something and then it was knackered. I used to hate myself after doing it. But I was a child.
Yeah. It would be. It was just something that I know that right now it's really, really starting to push it, like it's really starting to, I don't know, fervor a little bit, or maybe just that, is he going to stay or not? Because I mean, like, he's had plenty of time now. Now that the other two out of three have decided to, end their contract negotiations, tell us what direction is on your mind. Like, guys, if you're not intending on staying, and I know that if you're not intending, that's one thing, but don't use Liverpool as a bargaining tool to get a better deal with maybe Real Madrid, considering I'm sure Real Madrid is going to give him it's been reported that they're willing to give him a pretty sizable deal that ends up giving him a nice signing fee that would have been his transfer, probably money that would have been going towards him anyway if they were to try to get him to transfer to Real Madrid.
The people who are still angry about Trent want to place a large portion of that anger at the door of whoever allowed him to have his contract at that late stage. Obviously, it happened with Virgil and Salah as well. So if he does leave, a large portion of the blame's got to be assigned to
Oh my goodness.
Whoever it was who didn't ensure that he was like under contract for when the new manager came in.
Big up. That's fantasy points too, by the way, for me. 1-1, by the way. Sorry, I didn't mean to. I'm not trying to interrupt you, but
excellent.
1-1. As
that
Trudon just put into the chat. That's right. I got him starting, so that's good. I think
I'd be after him.
What's that?
I'd take him all day.
He is quite handy, isn't he? Like,
goodness, and a wonderful strike, by the way. He hit a volley from just a step inside of the box, where he just absolutely connects on a great cross. It ends up being, he volleys it down perfectly so that it takes a bounce, but still has enough velocity behind it to get past the defender and then past the goalkeeper. 1-1. Crystal Palace Arsenal at the Emirates right now. Eze has just made it 1-1. So, wasn't expecting that. No, you know what? I will say this too, real quick. For those that are watching the game along with us, you could have expected that, to be honest with you, because Crystal Palace is really engaged in this game. I understand they came out and let up an early goal at about 5 minutes into the game, and it looked like, this is going to be Arsenal clear sailing from there. But then Crystal Palace had a couple opportunities of their own pushing forward, and it should be an interesting
The
game.
side that can get results against Arsenal, but I think Arsenal will win, or they should win, given the lift they've got from dumping Real Madrid out on their arses.
Well, that too. You know what I was going to? So let me bring this up. We have Nolante now. Oh, Nolante just popped in and popped back out. But not say might be with us. What I was going to just bring up real quick. Let me share with you the actual lineups for this game right now. We're 30 minutes in. The lineup currently for this game is obviously Raya, Timber, Saliba, let's see, Lewis Skelly, Rice, Partey. So they went strong in this lineup. Trossard is starting as their forward today. I don't think that was necessarily well taken, well timed challenge by Crystal Palace, pushing forward once again. And oh my goodness, they almost scored again. By the way. This is Crystal Palace almost scored again. Nketiah almost scored against his former club. They got Sterling on the right. Arsenal's going strong with this lineup. And it's surprising. Why I'm saying that's surprising is because I'm going to ask the panel too, and I'll start with Nolante since he's just joining us. They went strong, but they've got a big matchup coming up at home, albeit, but they do have a big matchup against PSG coming up. Did you expect for them to rest more of the players? I understand they did rest Saka, and that was smart considering he's coming back off an injury. But were you surprised by this lineup?
Hang on. Can't start. You have to wish the man a happy birthday before he comes on.
Get out. That's right. That's all apologies. My apologies.
Happy birthday, mate.
Happy birthday. It's Morante's 21st birthday, so he's
I like that. You see? Great magic I like that. See? There you go. I'll take that.
So
that's what I'm sticking to. That's what you all sticking to.
And get a drink on, maybe.
Oh, no drinking, mate.
No drinking.
No. I'm good. I'm sober. I'm the designated driver. I went in back in the days. I was a designated driver.
That's even better. Those are they're the most important part of the party.
Exactly, it is. Yeah, because everyone else is getting hammered, did it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, man. I want to be sober when you're. Anyway, let's not talk about our party days, because Anyway.
Yeah. Let's talk about a possible party that we're trying to hopefully root on here.
Yeah.
Is again, I was just asking real quick. Again, happy birthday. And
appreciate
also, what is when you saw this line? Were you expecting a more rotated line? I mean, they come out with a pretty decent front. They came up with pretty decent. Like most of these players are the starters that you would expect to see, minus maybe Trossard, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Gabriel is injured, correct? I think he's injured, maybe. Yeah, I think Gabriel is injured.
He's out for the season.
He's out for the season. Okay, so you're going to have to see a new. You're obviously not going to see him at the center half role.
All right.
So, what are you thinking?
Big up the chat as well. And get those likes, man. I want the messages. God damn it! Come on, give me 100 likes. I'm joking. Of course.
There you go.
No,
there you go.
That's not enough. No, I'm joking. Joking, guys. Don't worry. I'm joking. But we're manifesting this channel to grow. That's what we're manifesting right now. In terms of I'm not surprised, 12. You know why? They got a week off. So the next game ain't until next week. So they can play a strong lineup. So I'm sure just to get the players just ready and stuff like that. So I'm not surprised about the lineup, if I'm honest.
Okay. Well, Crystal Palace went with a decent starting lineup too. Nketiah obviously almost scoring against his former team right there. Took an incredible goal line save for that to fill in. I already said Eze starting this one. Also, you got Devene, Justin Devene playing. Devene. Mitchell. You got Wharton. Are you still on, or not still on, but were you ever on the Wharton bandwagon? Do you think that, like, for quite a bit of time, or a little while, especially leading up to possibly even in the summer transfer market, but more so maybe even the January transfer market, he was a name that was targeted, I would say, as a possible solution creator for us. Are you on board with still pursuing him? I asked that of Lee, actually.
Sorry, it took me attention over a sec. What did you
Oh,
ask?
no worries. I'll ask Brian then the question, and then you can answer as well. Hey, did you hear what I said, Brian, about Wharton?
Yeah.
Oh, Wharton, okay.
Yeah, top there. I did a show last week. Shortlist, next number 9 shortlist. Did in a tier list, and just got a bunch of names together, and everyone kind of chimed in, and we put them on the tier list.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be doing the same. I'm setting it up there at the moment. I'll be doing the same probably tomorrow night. Tier list
DM?
with number 6s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for DM. It's not that we are. It's just it went down well the last time. I got a lot of
Mm-hmm.
views and a lot of likes. So
Well,
did one for the number 6.
Are you looking for a?
He's on the list. He's
Are
definitely
you
on the list.
looking for a? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut across you. I was just going to ask you.
No,
Are you
okay.
looking for a? I know some of us believe that Grav has fit well for the hybrid version of the 6 that we have out of him. He works well in a pivot in a lot of our assessments. But would you go as far as to say that you want an outright number 6? And if you were to do that, does that possibly take away the current role that Grav has made his own?
Yeah. Well, that's the problem, you see, because it could be an answer to another question. I think Grav, is this a 1-year thing, or is that his new role now? So we don't know. That's the thing. It's going to be really interesting. I don't think we're looking for. We're not looking for a destroyer if we are bringing someone in. So it's going to be really interesting. I think we're looking for someone that can take the ball and carry the ball out and play with the ball like he does. So yeah, it's more complicated. The more I think about it, the more I look at like what we have, like thinking about the way he does play. I'd like to see Grav play in the 8 and play box to box. But if this is his new role now in this team, yeah, it will be like, is there a need to replace him? What do you do? So it is like there's a real interesting mix of number 6s, DMs out there. And that's what I was wondering last night, we're chatting about it. It's like, what happens with him? Was this a one-off season for Grav? And it's like, yeah, don't worry, we're just going to do that for a year, and next year we're going to put you back in the middle. Or is it like, no, man, that's what you do for us now. That's your role now. So it's going to be really interesting to see that, because if that is his new role, then you kind of don't really need to go out and buy. I mean, I don't want to make the thing irrelevant, but you probably don't so much actually need to go out and buy somebody.
That's basically what I was asking Lee is, Grav has made this role his own, even though he was more of an 8. And I'm gonna segue this into another player as well, as, that I do have, and I don't have a number 6 episode coming up, but I have a number 10 episode coming up. So while Brian, the Irishman, will be taking care of the DM tier, I will certainly be highlighting the 10 tier for us. But what I was going to ask you, Lee, is what Brian said, how you view it as well, in that, is this a one-off year for Grav, and now it's back to being an 8, or it's back to being something somewhat a different role in one way or another, for yourselves, or, who knows?
I'd like to think there can be a slightly different role for him in next season's midfield, that we bring someone in alongside him that changes his role a little bit, but that might not happen. He might do it exactly the way he's done it this season. We just don't know, do we? Of the ones who are a bit, I don't like that Wharton. I never rated that Wharton or Decore, who we were linked with before Wharton got in the scene, because Decore we were linked with, and it was 80 million, wasn't it? Before we bought Gravenberch, that was an endo. We bought Thomas Line McAllister, but then we needed a DM, and it was Decore. They were like 80 million. Like, yeah. And then he got injured, and Wharton came in. No, Wharton, I wouldn't buy him. Don't rate him that highly. That I want him at Liverpool.
Okay. Crystal Palace really pushing for something here. They are 1-1 still, 40 minutes left. Or 40 minutes left. 40. Sorry about that. That's a little bit of the American in me, maybe. But 40 minutes in. Yeah. There used to be a time when MLS used to play like that too, by the way. It was kind of interesting. They played with a clock that like ran down rather than go up. Very, very interesting.
Yeah, that's wrong.
Yeah. It was really interesting. I don't think they provided extra time in those games. But they might have stopped the clock. I have to think back. They might have stopped the clock when the ball went out of play. But anyways, let's see. Norm is saying Pablo Barrios of Atletico Madrid is one to watch as a DM. So maybe, Brian, you might want to add that name to your list as possible. Let's see. No, shout out to William Shakespeare too, by the way. I guess it's his birthday as well. I guess you share your birthday with William Shakespeare, Levante. That's pretty cool. Do you guys ever do that too? You ever see who you share your birthday with?
I've never looked at that, but since the internet's been a thing, yeah, you can do that, can't you? But
Yeah.
I haven't got a memory for things like that. I wouldn't remember who it was. I'd forget, probably. But yeah, there's some mad ones, obviously.
Trossard just made it 2-1, by the way. Crystal Palace falling asleep in the defensive half. Poor defending. I don't know what happened. Just a matter of breakdown of communication there. Trossard sitting in the middle, turns, just has to pick a corner. Sitting in the middle of the pitch, just had to pick a corner, and finds the right side.
Do you want to have a look at the private chat?
Oh, sure. I'll take a look. Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, I mentioned that earlier. But yes, definitely. You definitely can. Right in the corner.
Yeah, that's disappointing.
They can't. They simply cannot.
Right on halftime.
Yep. Playing pretty well, by the way. Going back and forth with Arsenal, putting them on the back foot occasionally.
You scored?
Yes, Trossard just scored.
Trossard, yeah. Okay. The Tross.
The child of Chernobyl.
Do you mean because he looks ill, like he's got radiation poisoning?
He's got his hair is all like he's got the you remember in Freddy Krueger when the girl wouldn't sleep and she had that one streak of gray? because she wouldn't sleep. You ever see Nightmare on Elm Street? You remember that one? Anyone? No.
Yeah, I don't remember the girl with the.
It was the main person, the first one, the first night.
Yeah, in the first one, yeah, my mum didn't like that because the woman was called Tina Gray, which was my mum's name, like, is my mum's name.
Yeah.
I didn't find them
She
particularly
couldn't.
scary.
She had a long. She had a nice, solid brown hair, and like because she wasn't sleeping, all of a sudden she got this gray patch that went through her that was trying to show.
How did she stay up though?
She just didn't go to sleep.
She just but through willpower, like she didn't like do something like.
I guess I don't know. I guess that's what kind of driving her crazy. Oh, come on, Crystal Palace, right here. Crystal Palace pushing for an equalizer. Oh, almost got one. Yeah, she had like something where she couldn't, because she couldn't sleep or because she wasn't going to sleep, she was kind of going crazy, or people thought she was going crazy, and then that's why she started to get the gray streak.
But I forgot that bit. I remember at the end where it, like, you just seen like this little scene where it all worked out and they're standing in the garden, and then Freddie's hand comes from nowhere and pulls it through the door, but through the little window in the door, it's like obviously a dummy that he pulls through. It's dead fake looking, but it's like a shock at the end of Nightmare on Elm Street, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe laugh that bit, the dummy getting pulled through the small window in the door.
I wasn't a super big fan of when they started to do the cross horror film productions where it was like Freddy versus Jason or something like that. And that didn't ever really make sense to me. But
yeah, I never understood those versus movies.
Yeah, it's kind of like, what are you gonna do?
They're both bad guys. Surely they team up and just go wild.
More people, unalive more people, I should say. Yeah.
Hey, Philip.
Yes, definitely. Come on, you Eagles. Yes, that's right. Yeah, I didn't get that. I guess maybe it was because of maybe the Godzilla versus King Kong. Oh my goodness, they almost scored right there. They should have scored. I know. The Godzilla versus King Kong success. Maybe that was the reason why they went that direction.
My favorite Godzilla matchup was with Mothra, the huge moth thing. Mothra. That was a good battle, that one.
Yeah.
Right, Archer, I haven't seen you in a while, man. Hope you're well.
No. Hope you're well. The chat has been a little bit dry without the sharp wit of Red Armchair Supporter and a lot of his really funny one-liners. I love them. Super Mario versus Sonic. See?
Yeah, them old creature features are a good laugh, like the old Japanese creature features. The funny to watch them, aren't they?
Yeah. Declan Rice has picked up a yellow card.
Yay.
There's 2 minutes being put
Worldwide ban. Worldwide ban.
It looks like this is going to be probably the last portion of the first half here, with them getting a free kick well outside the box. Crystal Palace is looking to try to equalize off of this. SA is going to be lining up over this ball. Sends it in, and Arsenal handle it. So we're going to halftime. 2-1 is the score at halftime. 2-1 is the score. Trossard is the player that's put them up 2-1. But we still are looking. There's still the opportunity, or there's the chance that we might see something pop off in the second half. Crystal Palace definitely has some firepower on its side to make something happen. So we'll see. But yeah, let me get back to something that I was going to ask exactly of. So we're just one win away from clinching our 20th English top flight title. Obviously, all depending on this result by Arsenal. It could come today or it could come by this weekend. I guess it's not about like, I think the best part about this run now is that it's gone beyond just being if and become more so when. And that's a comforting thing to know, because it could have easily been a situation where we're in a title race with Arsenal, or maybe even our long running nemesis City. But City's fallen off. Arsenal had certainly I wouldn't call it even a lackluster year, because they're 2 wins away from progressing into the Champions League. If we were to win this, title, or not if, but when we are to win this title, would this title mean more to you than the title we won with Klopp, in the sense of would it mean more because we'll be able to celebrate it openly in the streets, and there's going to be more pageantry behind it and the likes, despite the fact that the title we won with Klopp was a incredible win in itself. The pandemic definitely put a little bit of a glare or some type of unfortunate different approach or different look upon it, but it was still the earliest won title ever. It's like one of those cases where we basically had the league wrapped up long before the pandemic situation even kicked in. So for you, is this title on that level of Klopp's title? And I'm not trying to make it a comparison of saying which is necessarily better, but I'm just saying it's like in essence, which is does this have the same vibrance to you? I'll ask that of Nolante, actually.
Does it has the same vibrance? I mean, it's going to be different because one was unfortunately COVID, and no one's fault. But this one it's more. It's just, I don't know. Oh, they're different in their own sense, but this is more meaningful. I mean, you can't really say. It's just that there'll be people there. We can celebrate properly. Whereas LAS in 2020, it was lockdown settings. Although fans still went to the ground outside, obviously you can't stop fans' excitement. It was like nearly 30 years for winning the title. So certain fans around Liverpool were going to be at the ground, but they can't go in. So I don't know. It's different. I mean, 22. I'm not going to lie. I was expecting the title because our team was primed to win it. But obviously, I didn't think we win it by that much. I was expecting that. Now, in terms of this one, I was less expectant, if I'm honest. So I've been pleasantly surprised. So there's not one or the other. It's just different circumstances and the situation of the squads, the manager, where we are at the time. So in 2020, I think a lot of fans were expecting us to be there. I thought we would win the title in 2020, but this one, I've been pleasantly surprised. So it really depends where you're looking at it. But end of the day, it's another one on the mantelpiece, and that's all we care about. And let's go for the next juggler, which will be back to back. So yeah.
Okay. Lee, for someone in the city, does this mean more to you? This title? What do you think going to hit heavier than the one before it?
It's going to be good. just hopefully going to be good, this title, because we missed out last time and because it's 20. I have to get myself ready. I think I'll go out on Sunday. Probably treat myself to an outing in town or something like. Yeah, it should be good this weekend. I mean, I think we will finish it. A draw sounds good to me tonight, so we can just win it by a point. So it is mathematically over then at the weekend, just by a point. Draw would be good tonight if they could rustle up an equaliser.
Yeah. Okay. We have a lady in the house, a lady red, and it is Bernie. How are you doing, Bernie?
Well, look, I've got to say, Troth, I'm not doing bad, but I've had to come in. You know why?
Tell me.
Happy birthday to you.
Oh.
I was just going to do it, Madeline Monroe, Miss.
Oh,
Yeah, I was
that's
gonna
lovely.
say.
So, yeah. Forget Jason Tyndall, Bernie. Will you take me?
Yeah.
Happy birthday, dear Nolante. Mr. President. Mr. Rapper.
Oh my God.
Anyway, that's why,
Thanks, Bernie.
Brian persuaded me to come in for the rapper, He didn't really, just said come in.
Mm-hmm. No, no, you're more than welcome. And
Yeah, bless you, Bernie. Thanks. Yeah.
definitely. Oh wow. So I was asking the question. I'll ask you this question, Dave. For you, does this title or the sentiment that's going to be behind this title that we are on the verge of possibly lifting number 20 over, does it hit a little bit hard, like deeper in your emotion banks than the Klopp one that just happened not too long ago?
Is that to me then?
No, it's the Bernie. It was
Oh, sorry, to me.
No worries.
Yeah, it does actually, Nolante. I know the other one, sorry, 12. I know the other one was, after 30 years or so, so it was really important. But I think this one, because we can celebrate it, stadium and all together, I just think it's going to be superb, actually. So, I'll probably go for this one, really.
Okay. How about for you, Lee? Did you answer completely? You get your full answer out? Yes, no? Guess so. You there, Lee?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just gonna say, did you want to go expand a little bit more though about the fact or how this is going to impact how this one feels versus the one that we had with Klopp, where it was different settings, and that's why.
The one that we had with Klopp was mad because it had been so long. It hasn't been so long this time. It's still been long enough, don't get me wrong. But the last one obviously had been that long, hadn't it? Like, it had been just a ridiculous amount of time. So this one is different in the sense that it hasn't been that long since the last one. But it's been long enough, as I said. I've been waiting for us to make it 20. At least we'll level like on titles then, because these things do matter at the end of the day. Football's about winning, and whoever's won the most stuff is the best team, innit?
Don't you think, though, that the City will go absolutely wild? I mean, the sound's going to be over 1 million there.
Yeah, it will, yeah. There'll be a certain portion of the Everton fan base that'll have a bad cob on. Like, some Evertonians will be sound about it. Some Evertonians won't be. A lot of them, but that's okay. That's all good. It's football, innit?
Yeah, and I know, Slot hasn't got the personality of Klopp, so that's like spoils it a little bit, because Klopp was amazing, wasn't he, on the coach and but I think Trent and all the other lads will have enough about them to really get that coach going, and the crowd will be absolutely amazing, I think. And even the Evertonians will be there. They might not have red on, but they'll be there enjoying the city and going for drinks because the bars will be jumping, won't they?
Aye.
Okay.
Yeah, fans.
Yeah, Brian.
Fans deserve it. Yeah, no, I just think the fans deserve it. And when I say fans, I mean, and don't take this the wrong way, anybody, because I include myself, but I mean the people of the city that
Mhm.
missed out on, that celebration the last time. And unfortunately, like, we know that there'll be older people that didn't get to enjoy that are probably no longer around,
Right.
that
Right.
waited a very long time for that party that was never allowed to really happen.
Sure.
So yeah, the people of the city, because we all know look, Liverpool doesn't get a lot of good news. It's had its problems. So, something like this is what puts it back on the map and what makes everybody feel that real pride to go out on the streets.
Mm-hmm.
They're growing up on going out. Yeah, they'll have watched all the videos of their dads and granddads out celebrating titles and all that stuff. So they'll have been itching. So the explosion of joy, of relief, of kind of, doing it for those that are no longer with us as well, kind of thing. When this parade really kicks off, I think it's going to be something special. And I think this will be one of the best, one of the biggest. Even if it's lashing down with rain, there'll be 700,000 people or whatever it is. It's going to be incredible. So whether the last one was more special, I don't know. It took so long. I'll take, to me, this one, it's got a bit of a sting in the tail to it into the season, but COVID had that because it was COVID. We weren't sure for a while if we are ever going to get to finish it. Like, we don't do it the easy way. But to me, I suppose, if the point I'm getting at is, I'm almost combining the two of them, and I'm making it for this generation, because this is the party that the others didn't get to have, but it's also a party for the people here right now. I think it is almost, for some people, they'll be out there and they'll be celebrating that Klopp title almost as much as they're celebrating this one.
I'll ask this next box. I just saw Lee Wizkid said when he was a kid, it seemed like we won the league every season, certainly often enough for it to really hurt when that all stopped. Edward says everywhere will be busy, parties and events all summer. Abdul went on to say the Premier League title is the foundation of any trophy collection. We Liverpool fans celebrate together, definitely, in all ethnicities and nationalities, for sure. And what I was also going to bring up is, do you think, I know that the Premier League is obviously one of the pinnacle trophies to win, or pinnacle trophies that you set out winning every year. I do ask this, though. If you had to win one, would you rather win the Premier League or would you rather win the Champions League? It's a tough question, I know. We'll go reverse order here. We'll go Brian, Lee, Delonte, and then
Champions League is good. I went to town for the last Champions League final, me and my brother, and it was packed. It was dead hot though, like when you got it in amongst so many people, like, because it was quite a hot day. Liverpool, like, I remember being boiling and wanting to, like, get somewhere where I could breathe. But yeah, there was quite a good atmosphere in town for the Paris final. Yeah, it was all right. It wasn't too bad.
Okay. Well,
you always get a good atmosphere for like when something's about to be won. Do you know what I mean? It never fails.
Seeing Norm said 37 years ago today, he was at Anfield to watch us win the title for the 17th time. Visually great moments, definitely. So that's incredible. That is a very amazing blessing that you've had upon your life, Norm.
Well, you know what's even more amazing than that is that on my quiz last night, Norm, he wasn't playing, he was playing along in the chat, but he got an answer wrong to a game that he was at.
Oh my God. No,
That is not.
I'm not sure that's
acceptable.
ever. Is that
Mark
a
down
first?
mark that down on
I
the
think
calendar.
that's a first. Yeah.
Brian,
Record.
Norm's spending too much time on his own channel. He's losing it.
Yeah.
Norm, come back.
I stumped him. He got a few wrong. He didn't get them all right. He got a few wrong.
Wow.
Liverpool ones as well. So,
Oh,
and he got yeah.
so
It
even
was
Superman
who
is
was the
human.
first player. Who was the first player to score a hat trick for Liverpool in the Premier League?
Mm,
And he got it wrong, and he was at the game that it happened. I'm not sure he's forgiven himself yet.
wow.
Yeah, Norm's channel, Red Armchair, is that one there, My LFC History. He's putting up some really cool videos of his collections and
Yeah.
memorabilia and memories
Yeah,
and stuff.
100%.
I was like looking at that. All your Dalglish stuff. You got loads of Dalglish stuff, haven't you? Know, good collection there.
Yeah, some great season tickets, old
Folks.
videos, Kenny Dalglish stuff, really good
Yeah.
stuff.
I would probably well actually I don't think so. I would have guessed probably it would have been Fowler probably or something. That's the answer.
Oh, Mark Walters.
Oh wow. Didn't
Yeah.
know that. Wow. Okay. That would have been wrong. What game was it, by the way? Do you remember? Do you remember the game by any chance?
Well, Norm certainly does. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, Norm does now. I'm certain. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I can't remember who Norm. I think Norm guessed. What did Norm guess? Beardsley.
Coventry.
Okay. That's
Something
probably
like
why he brought it up about that. Mm-hmm.
The Walters thing against Hawks there was like one of his finest moments when he was here. Mark Walters led the comeback against Hawks there at Anfield, and we went through.
Yeah.
JK would have known that because it was if we played Coventry, that wasn't. That's where he lived. Wasn't it?
Oh yeah, Coventry City.
Yeah, Midlands. Oh, yeah, Shoe Bernie. Good player was. I liked him.
Yeah,
We're back at it too, by the way.
Achilles injury, like we needed someone who could take, who could run with the ball. Like, and Mark was quite good, did well for us. Like, did what he could. I mean, to try and replace John Barnes is a bit of an impossible task, but he did his best to replace John Barnes in those years.
Yeah. Because of that ACL, that cruciate injury. If he had it in this time, he would have been able. He would have been able to recover, but because of the timing and technology infrastructure, yeah, it's a shame. But he's still like
They're getting
Brian.
two
Like,
of them. Sorry. So lads are getting two of them now, and they're playing again. Back then, if you got an ACL, that was your
Yeah.
career.
yeah. Well,
Remember how old Barnes he was when he got that injury? But like, he wasn't dead old, was he? He could have went on as he was for ages as a winger. I think, like, if that wouldn't have happened, because he inevitably put weight on because he wasn't a winger anymore and was just playing that midfield role.
yeah.
He could have went on for a good few years the way he was without that Achilles injury.
Yeah. 30, I think it's 29-30. I'm sure he had 29-30, but he still could have performed. But again, it's just different generation, different times, isn't it? Everything modifies, evolves every 10 years. So.
Yeah, one of the worst things for Soon is just that he had no Barnes. So we've got to like say that as Souness's defence that all of a sudden Barnes wasn't there. Like, there was other things with Souness, but that did not help the man, did it? Like,
Yeah. Well, one thing I will give Souness credit. Oh, what's happened, 12?
No, I would say back at it. It's the start is we're about 4 minutes into the second half here. It's still 2-1. Looks like Crystal Palace goalkeeper took a little bit of a pretty bad knock against his own player, though, coming out to try to take on one of Arsenal's set pieces. It might be. Let me see. It looks like he's going to stay on, though. For a second, looked like he might be coming out. The goalkeeper, at least. Henderson. But it would mean that you'd have to take on Matt Turner. So it is exactly, that wouldn't be that great. Anyway, Matt Turner, who I hope does
I
fine.
think a draw. Yeah, I think a draw would be good for us. A good result, and then win it on Sunday, like by a point, and then possibly just stay that 1 point in head, lose the rest of our games. Just
Oh,
doing all
goodness.
Arsenal.
We want to go out in style. We want to go out in style.
No, I'm only joking. But yeah, win it by a
Uh,
point on Sunday, then, wouldn't we?
Yeah, 50th minute, 2-1. Right now, Arsenal is dilly-dally with the ball around the halfway mark. And trying to get a little organization back into their offensive threat. Crystal Palace is pushing for something of an equalizer here and there. But
I said that.
big up,
Hello.
Cedric. Big up, big up.
Big up, Cedric. You know what?
But yeah, I thought it's just interesting because, like, you know, the rivals, this is what they're supposed to do, you know, obviously, but the rivals have, you know, tried to take away the allure, the luster of a great, possibly one of the best runs in the Premier League history, which was that Klopp run where we won the title. And now they're trying to take off a little bit of the luster because of the way that Big Steve was referencing it as. It'll be remembered more as the year City fell off rather than the year that Liverpool won the title, you know, upon him. Or if you listen to Gal and those guys, it's the year that Arsenal had too many injuries, and that's the only reason why we won the league upon him.
Sure,
too.
sure. Whatever you like, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
You can do it. You can do it.
Have a little bit more of bitter tears. Have another couple of that bitter tears.
You can win that Champions League.
No, Lee, stop it.
Stop.
Lee, Bernie,
No.
can you call Tracy and tell him to speak to Lee? No, Lee, no.
Oh,
No, Lee,
yeah.
stop it.
Yeah, no,
Stop
in
manifesting that.
skies and in the water, boy, he keeps popping up some fella and goes, "You can do it, cut his head off, you can do it." And like weird stuff like that in the water, boy, Rod Schneider, that just popped in my head. You can do it. So I said it.
Lee, excuse me a second. What was that, Tracy? No, I'll
I'd
tell
rather
him. I'll
see-
tell him. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
you're with us. Even though you're Manchester United somewhere. Did you say Tracy or Phil? Oh, okay. Yeah, it was
Thanks,
Phil.
Bernie.
Lee.
Thanks,
Phil,
Bernie. Always can count on you, Bernie, to put Lee straight.
Crying game.
Phil said,
Phil or
Lee.
Tracy. Never seen in the same room together. I've never seen a picture of the three of them together. I've seen Phil and Gary together. To be honest, I haven't seen her with either of them. I've only seen her on her own and with her husband. I've seen a picture of her.
Oh.
Never with either of them. So,
Lee, no smallter, please. We don't want to know what you get up to with the husband.
oh, I know.
Lee, behave yourself now. You say wrong things on this channel.
No, the thing was, I was trying to make myself sick, wasn't I? And I couldn't. So I'm going
That's
to
right, Lee.
I was violently ill, immediately, like in the toilet.
Oh.
Did the step. I put my fingers on my throat and it didn't work. So I thought, I know, I'll Google Stacey Level. It did not work.
I reckon Lee's going to be the next James Bond.
I think so. I think
Oh,
Lee,
the mouth
he's
like
got the
that,
look, isn't he? Lee with the gun, the man with the golden gun, aka Roger Moore.
Working class bomb that says horrible things about famous people.
Yeah.
Or the man with the plastic pea shooter.
Oh.
And
Beep, beep.
I like that one because it was Christopher Lee, one of the man with the golden gun, Scaramanga. It's a good name, wasn't it? Yeah, Scaramanga. And the dwarf fellow was in it out of Fantasy Island, Hervey Village days. I used to like him in Fantasy Island with Ricardo Montalban. That was a funny, like, program. And the Love Boat was funny when I was a kid. That and bloody
Gonna
Fantasy
take you
Island.
to the love boat. Yeah, we take it to the love
All the
boat.
big shows were American when I was a kid. Like there wasn't
That
that many
wasn't a
big
team
British
tune to Love
shows when
Boat.
I was a kid. They were all American ones. Like we did have our own shows, like, but not as many.
That definitely wasn't the team tune to Love Boat you were just singing.
I know. I was messing about, bro.
Oh,
I can
okay. I was
remember
saying,
the
what fucking
song.
Love Boat were you watching? That wasn't. I mean, I didn't want.
I
I
remember
hated
the
that show.
song myself.
I
It
hated that
used to
show.
go, "Love, exciting and new. Step aboard. We're expecting you. The love
Anyway,
Probably
2-1 at the
watch
Emirates.
it on
2-1 at the
more,
Emirates. Anyway.
more of a karaoke
Anyway.
session here.
Love
Oh my God.
So
Good
Is
movie,
that
by
about?
the way.
Do you
A decent
remember
movie,
the
or
little
interesting
guy?
movie, I should say. Aliens vs. Cowboys was a very interesting movie. Alien
Oh,
vs.
yeah.
Who's the little guy on Love Boat? Who's about 3 foot something. I think he's dead now, actually.
Oh.
Remember the little guy? What was he called? Yeah, it was.
Oh, Tattoo.
I used to remember the captain. He was a bald head, and he always wore shorts. I remember him.
Tattoo
And
from
there
the
was different
fantasy.
people every week. It was like there'd be like
Oh
an
wait,
old couple who'd fall in love who were about like
Tattoo
6,
was
and
that was his
it'd be like
name
they were
on
couple as
Oh,
well that fell in
Tattoo.
love
Yeah.
every
Tattoo
week.
was on another show. That was Fantasy Island.
Yeah, Fantasy Island with Ricardo
Oh, right,
Montalban and his wonderful wig. It was his wig that used to crack me up, Ricardo Montalban. He was in other stuff. He's been in loads, but he had this bad
Oh,
that just
yeah.
cracked me up when I was a kid.
My mum loved him, Ricardo Montalban.
Yeah, he was a big heartthrob,
Yeah.
yeah. Ricardo
Yeah.
Montalban, yeah.
Yeah.
But he had this terrible setup in Fantasy Island.
what was his line, 12th Man, when he what was it, the smell of luxury, when he was advertising the those Cadillacs like they're around the 80s, like the convertible Cadillac ones. What were they? They had like the paneling on them, and he used to do the advertising for that, and he was like, the smell of luxury or something, the smell of something. Tagline. Oh, what were they called?
Yeah. I don't know. I'd have to look that up. I'd have to look that one
Yeah,
up.
I'll find it.
Yeah. It's interesting. I don't even think like sometimes it's I don't even know the guy. I think the guy that is like the guy that does the Dos Equis commercials, for instance. I don't even think he's Mexican, actually. To be honest with you. But he's got like a
Corinthian leather.
Corinthian leather.
Corinthian leather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Corinthian leather. Yes.
Yeah, that was the whole thing. Corinthian leather.
Style and luxury of Corinthian leather.
Fine Corinthian leather.
Corinthian leather, another word for plastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, if you have to put
Remember
you have to put an extra word in front of it. If it's leather, it's leather. Right? The only word that needs to be in front of leather is real.
Real.
If it's anything other than real, it means fake leather.
It means
Corinthian
fake.
leather. Yeah,
Or
that just means you can't call it leather.
Do you remember it used to be called fake? Now it's called faux.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Faux fur, stuff like that. Crystal Palace almost scored there. They had an opportunity. Nice little cross. But Rhea pushed it wide and away from the oncoming Crystal Palace player. Still 2-1, 59 minutes in. Still 2-1.
12.
Yes.
I've got a little Champions League story for you, if you want to hear it. When we won at Istanbul, I'd taken my nephew and my niece to a concert in the centre of Liverpool. Lee will know it, at the Empire Theatre. And it was an Irish guy who Brian will know, Brian McFadden. He used to be in a boy band called Westlife. And he'd gone out
Typical
on
English, think we all know each other.
Yeah.
Typical English, think we all know each
Yeah,
other.
Brian, you know him, Brian. That's the other Brian.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know-
we all
you
know
know
each
of
other.
yeah, you know him, Brian.
Everyone's
Oh,
Brian
yeah,
in
exactly.
Canada.
You know
Brian,
of
part of
him.
Westlife.
You know of him, not
Around the
him.
corner.
Exactly.
You know of him, I meant. Anyway, he was singing on the theatre. He'd gone solo, and he was on the theatre. And one of my nephews was only little, and I'd got him a Liverpool strip, and he had the strip on, or the kit on, and anyway, we were, we knew that the bus. We didn't know the bus was we were going to win when I bought the tickets, but obviously we knew on the night, and everybody in the theatre knew that Liverpool were doing the tour coming back, on the open top bus with the league, the Champions League Cup. So people were running out by the minute to check where they were, see what was happening, and in the end, the word went around the theatre that they're just about to come along Lime Street, and everybody started evacuating the theatre, and Brian McFadden turned around and said, look, if you can't beat them, join them. Come back in later when they've passed, because he was playing to nobody. The theatre was literally empty.
He'd be used to that. He'd be used to that.
Yeah, well, we came out, and do you know what? We were talk about having the best position, because we were right on, we were right on Lime Street, standing in the. They said if we showed our tickets, we could go back in. So we were in the little doorways of the theatre, and Stevie Gerrard's holding the cup, and they're literally just. And do you know what? There were people on as usual, tops of the traffic lights, tops of the. Of the lights, but we were facing St George's Hall, and I don't know, 12th, if you've ever seen St George's Hall. It's absolutely magnificent,
Yeah, it's nice, St George's Hall. My favourite memories of homecoming to me one is the 84 one, when I was like 11 or whatever. That was where we went, the outside of there, like, it was really good.
Well, a bit like the Sphinx, they have these gigantic lines outside, don't they? Like stone lines, and they were on top of the lines. The fans, they were on top of St George's Hall. They were literally everywhere, climbed up anywhere and everywhere they could get. And we stood there, just saw the whole team, with them coming past and that. And as soon as they'd gone, we all ran back in. Now Brian McFadden is the artist. We looked up and he's on the roof of the theatre. He thought if he couldn't beat them, he'd join them.
Yeah,
and when we went in, he said he was a Liverpool fan. Afterwards, we found out he wasn't. He's a United
he's not.
fan.
Exactly. He's full of shite.
Yeah.
What a scumbag! Just want to get some money.
All I ever knew.
If he'd been in Manchester or if he'd been in freaking London, he would have said he was an Arsenal fan.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a total McFadden move. That is a total McFadden move.
Do you know
For
what?
whatever reason, when they did the bus thing in '84, it was not late at night. It was going dark, and then it was quite soon dark. Like when they were on the bus, like, you know what I mean. You could still see in that, but it was like dusk when they started it for whatever reason in '84, and that made it like more exciting because it was only little, like really, like still little, but it's exciting going to town with all that many people there. Like, it's like, yes, this is good.
Abdul's got some questions.
Yeah, I know. I saw that.
Questions about questions.
What topics will be covered in the remainder of this YouTube live stream and watching?
Whatever the hell he wants to talk about, basically.
Yeah, whatever it is that's on your mind, you can bring it up. Everyone in the chat can bring up any real topic that they would like to speak on, and we'll try our best to include it in the conversation. And then also, obviously, we're going to be I'm watching this is a quote unquote, like, watching the game from the bleachers, basically.
Not a hate along. It's not a hate along. Don't do hate alongs.
Yeah. It's like, hey, if Arsenal win, they win. If Crystal Palace win, they win. It's just more of like, it's kind of like, I don't know, because this happened just recently this weekend. The show that we put on was at an amphitheater, but there's like a hotel next to it. And it's very similar to like Chicago Cubs Stadium in Chicago. Like there's buildings outside of the stadium's right in the city. And there's like buildings outside of the stadium that people have rooftop parties sometimes to watch the games and everything, because you can actually see it in there. So it's kind of like us doing our version of that, where we're able to like kind of like, not necessarily, I'm not going to buy a ticket, but I will from the outside bleachers. We're all watching the game basically. That's how I'm looking at it. Oh my goodness, Crystal Palace almost tied it up right there, by the way. Oh, so close. So close off of a cross. Crystal Palace is pushing it right now. 65th minute.
Crystal
It was a nice little header and everything else. Here's a question for the chat. Would you take Eze at LFC?
Especially if he scores the winner tonight. Imagine 3-2.
Well, he's not going
96.
to score the winner. He's not going to score the winner. He was just subbed out.
Oh,
Yeah. I don't know why, but he was just subbed out.
that's a bit
It
disappointing.
wasn't because of an injury, by the way. I know that much. It wasn't because of an injury.
How many minutes are on the game?
It's at the 66th minute right now.
Well, that's very early, isn't it?
I thought so too.
Who came on?
I'll tell you in a second who came on for him.
That's very disappointing.
Sar came on for him.
He must have a knock or something. Surely he
No,
play.
no.
No, I mean he must be like carrying something, and they knew that he could only play 65 minutes or something, because that's or play an hour kind of thing. Because why would you take him off? There's no reason. They've got. It's not like they've got. Oh, do they have a cup game? Oh, hang on. Yeah, they're.
Crystal Palace is still. I believe they're still involved in the FA Cup, right?
Yeah, they're in the cup. That's it. Yeah. Now it makes sense. Yeah. Now it makes sense. Yeah, because that's why they're playing. Yeah,
They just
Arsenal are
tried-
out of the cup.
By the way,
That's why these games are being played in midweek, is because there's cup finals, cup semis, and Palace is in it. Yeah. Palace are playing.
they're playing. I
Wow,
think Palace
stop paying attention to that.
playing next, actually.
These London
Palace is
clubs,
playing.
I was going to say these London clubs hate each other. I mean, you know, we've got the rivalry in the north with Manchester and that, but the London clubs absolutely detest each other.
Villa.
They play Villa. No, they play Villa. Yep.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense now that because they can't get relegated or they can't get Europe, so they're cool in the league. So yeah, take them off, keep them fresh.
They almost.
Okay.
They almost have scored again.
Oh wow!
They're really got Arsenal on the back foot right now. Corner kick. Went to the far post. Raya bumbles it a little bit. Tries to come out. And it is deflected just wide of the post. But they are definitely pushing for an equalizer. But yes, currently in this game, SA has just been substituted. Wharton's been taken off for Hughes. And I think that's all that's come out so far. Other than earlier in the match, we have seen Saka be substituted in for Raheem Sterling as well. So it is 2-1, 68th minute right now. 2-1, 68th minute. Red Armchair Supporter says, I know what you mean, 12. A friend of mine has a house opposite the stadium where Bruce Springsteen played last summer. So we were all on chairs outside his house for the gig. That's pretty cool. That's really cool. I love those kinds of situations. A long time ago, I remember this back when Dave Matthews was played a fraternity party at my college, and but the fraternity part, the campus's fraternity houses were next to like regular houses as well, and so everyone got a free show that lived next to the fraternity house, basically. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. We did 2 minutes. Cool. Brian saying his sister had a flat about 2 miles from the RDS. You could hear. Oh, I'm not going to read that part, but yeah, you could hear it over the TV if you just.
Oh yeah, no, Springsteen. He was unbelievably loud. Unbelievably, like she had a flat in the city centre, just on the edge of town or on the edge of the city centre in Dublin, about 2 miles from the RDS, which is a big kind of concert venue, and like there was concerts there all the time, like and it's city centre Dublin. It's noisy, but you just open the road or open the window, and Bruce Springsteen. It was like he was in the back garden. unbelievably loud.
I bet. That's.
So-
I just saw a I think it was like a People's Court or something, right? And on the People's Court, they offsides is called. That would have been a third goal for Arsenal, but offsides been called, by the way. It was offsides. The ball looked out of bounds actually too, but yeah, there was a People's Court. Which he's not offside, by the way. The ball might have been out of bounds, but he wasn't offsides.
Phil Jackson played once at Entry Racecourse, and you could hear him from miles away. You know, it was that loud. So everybody just, if you couldn't get a ticket, because the tickets were ridiculous prices for the people who wanted to go, and everybody else just went and sat on the road outside the racecourse, and you could hear it like you were inside. You know, it was that loud.
Yeah. I don't know what they're about to do here, to tell you the truth. It's going to VAR. So I think it was called offsides. It's not offsides. It's not offsides.
Is that a play?
It was out of play, it looked like, but then it goes to, are they able to check that through VAR? To see
Yeah.
the ball?
Yeah, they can check. Yeah.
I think they would be able to, but
I thought it looked offside. You know, when they put the line up, it looked like one of the Arsenal players was offside.
Yeah, the ball does look out of play, if I'm honest.
it looks out of play.
They'll find it. If
but-
there's something there, they'll find it.
Yeah.
But right now, if it's not out of play, then Martinelli's going to get credit with his third goal. But what's crazy about it is the flag went up, so play somewhat stopped.
Well, they must be checking VAR, I think, aren't they?
They're trying to check VAR right now to see if it's. They're
It'll be an enjoyable result
checking the
tonight.
disallowed goal for. It's not offsides. He is not offsides. I don't believe he was offsides, at least. I think the biggest part of it was they're calling no goal. I think that was a screw up by one way or another.
I thought it was slightly offside, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was all. I thought the ball was out of bounds, actually. But there was no they didn't make a definitive mark to say whether he was onside, whether he's offside. They didn't say if it was out of bounds. Again, that goes to what we were talking about, what Brian and I were talking about, and saying how they should make it where, VAR should be able, and it shouldn't be that difficult.
When you say out of bounds, was the ball about to go out for a throw in, or was it being like a corner or a goal kick or something? Like what was going on?
Yeah, well, they didn't say anything other than it's no goal. And now they just call that was a makeup call. It looks like that ball didn't look like it went out either.
Arsenal.
It's difficult. It's tough when you see. It's tough when you see the fact that the sideline referees they only they take up like half. They only really like administer like half the pitch, really. And sometimes when the ball is on the other side of the pitch, how they're able to see whether the ball goes completely out or not doesn't really make sense. And I would think that they would have some type of technology. They have goal line technology. Why can't they have, out of bounds technology? So, all the same. Still 2-1, people. 75th minute. Arsenal has the ball back comfortably again, but now it's just gotten taken away. Well, just brought it back.
Yeah, I'd like a draw. That would be good to draw. We know what we've got to do. We win and it's over. They draw, we win, it's over.
even if they do win and we win, it's over. So
Bar the goal difference.
I don't believe our goal differential will matter because I think we have a high.
They can't spring that goal difference in what we've got left, but it will still be mathematically possible for them, wouldn't it?
It's mathematically possible, but we have a 9-point goal differential on them. So
yeah, I'd like us to make it a solid point on Sunday by Palace getting an equaliser. That'd be nice.
Right. Yeah, there wouldn't. We win, it's done. Right. Basically, the same way Trudon's saying it. We win, it's over. We wouldn't have to worry about it coming down to goal differential. How about a quick question, not necessarily off topic, but do you think City is going to end up in the top 5?
Yeah.
Since we do have to say top 5 right now because
After
those are
winning late twice in recent matches, first at Everton and then against Villa last night, 2 teams who were in decent enough form, Everton and Villa, after winning late against them two, I think we're going to have to get used to the idea that City will be finishing in the top 5 and getting Champions League football. Much as I'd love it to go the other way, I don't think it's going to.
Okay.
Yeah, the Everton win was huge. 84 minutes, 0-0. You know, that was looking like a big result. And then to go and win it. And then, yeah, I think that was a result, but especially then adding on that Villa win, that's kind of sort of whether they finish 3rd or 5th, I don't know. But they'll get Champions League now. That's pretty much them, I think, secured. Because they're coming into a tiny bit of form. Like those kind of wins, they do a lot for a team. Late wins.
Be able to do it for the second time in a matter of days.
That'll get them over the line.
Yeah. I was going to say, you can see they're getting the confidence back, can't you? You know, it's definitely confidence is on the up. So I think they'll get in the top 4, top 5, definitely.
It's like the Forest win at Spurs was a huge win. You know, because they'd had a loss. I think maybe they'd had a bad result, and then the teams behind them had both won. I was like, oh, here we go. There they go. You know, they're going to drop away now. And then, bang, they went away to Tottenham and beat them. Now, again, that's no great shit, but they very easily lost that game. So that, again, was a very significant kind of... So it's the only show in town, really. Like, we know who's going to win the league, and we know who's relegated. So the only real kind of race, the only show is who's going to get that 5th spot.
Yeah.
Because from 3rd down to 7th, there's a couple of points in it, and you got games in hand and stuff. So that's a real interesting one. Newcastle have their eye on it. Villa will too. Yeah, Villa beating Newcastle 4-1. That was it. That was another huge result in the Champions League race.
It was. That was a big result. But yeah, Villa, even later the win over Villa won it for City than the win over Everton. They showed up even later to claim the points. I think that
City Villa game was huge, by the way. I think the City Villa game was huge.
Yeah, but even if City would have lost, I still wouldn't be worried. I think they'll finish the top 5 because out of the 4 teams, 12, Chelsea got the hardest run. And the last game of the season is Nottingham Forest, which potentially could be a decider, which is it was crazy. You wouldn't have thought that. So it's all, it's interesting. But I think City will finish in the top 5. I'll be very, it'd be a shock if they didn't. It really would.
Well, they have. It was asked for the fixture. I'll let you go in 1 second, Bernie. Just going to give out the fixtures that are left for City. City obviously have the FA Cup game against Forest. And then they also have back to Premier League action against Wolves, which should be a pretty at the Etihad, which should be an easy win for them. Then they go to Southampton, another potentially easy win for them. They have Man City have Bournemouth at home, which should be another possible, I wouldn't say easy, but certainly should be a win for them. And then they go to Fulham on the road for their final game. Those are the fixtures that City have left. So
Bournemouth, Fulham, and who else have you got?
Hmm?
Who did you say? You've got Bournemouth, Fulham, and who's the other side they play still?
So they have City has Wolves at home, then they go on the road to Southampton, then they have Bournemouth at home, and then they have then they go on the road to Fulham.
Yeah, they're going to win away to Southampton and away to Fulham, aren't they? I think they probably win at home
why
as
I was
well.
also going to bring that up is because they have played 34 games, so both Forest, Newcastle, Trossard almost just scored there to make it 3-1. We're at the 80th minute of this game, 81st minute actually. They have Forest, Newcastle, and Chelsea's not really, but Forest and Newcastle both could, with wins, if they get a win in their next match, could end up ahead of Manchester City and push them from going. City are currently in third place with 61 points. I think it's all assured that Arsenal's going to be, the second place team in the race. So it's really a race for the last 3 spots left. And City sit with 61 points. A game in hand, Forest sit with 60 points. Newcastle sit with 59 points. Chelsea has a game in hand, but they have 57 points. And Villa have obviously played 34 games, but have 57 points as well. So it's become that 1 through 7 has really become the race for where you're going to be in Europe, basically. I am putting my money on Villa, but that's only because I put it early on them in the beginning of the year. Okay, Trudon. Trudon is ahead of me a little bit. Hopefully it sticks. I'll tell you play-by-play as it happens on my end. Up giveaway by Arsenal. Ray is out of net. Oh, that's definitely a goal.
Wow.
That's definitely a goal. Mateta. And he's
on fire.
He is on fire. Kicking the corner flag. Arsenal's corner flag to run over and be serenaded by the Crystal Palace away fans as it's 2-2, my people. 2-2.
Time.
83 minutes.
Plenty of time. Come on, Palace. Plenty of time.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's burst their little bubblies. Let's burst,
One more. Wow, what a horrible giveaway that was. Also, by the way, and I don't even know what Raya's doing. Wow.
Barton Allison.
No, that was Saliba. Just a
Barton
brain.
Van Dijk. He's Barton
Yeah.
Van Dijk.
Yeah. Saliba and Odegaard playing back and forth. Then when the pass got back to Odegaard, Mateta just said, "You're not big," and just brodied him off the ball. And Odegaard, their captain, goes to the ground, and Mateta sees Raya out of position, way out of position. I don't even know what Raya was doing, and he just ends up placing it right into the goal for the second goal of Crystal Palace's little journey towards being spoiler today. Possible spoiler. So we'll see.
It's only on the 29th, isn't it? The first leg with Paris. So it's only 6 days away or something. April went quickly.
Yeah.
April got to its conclusion rather quickly this year.
Yeah, they're all in a hotel there, aren't they? I'm surprised they aren't
Yeah,
all
they
in
are.
just someone's
Yeah, they
gaff.
are. Yeah, they are. I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, they are. They are just all hanging out right now.
They
they
go,
kind of
they
got
go,
a private section or something, I suppose.
they
Private
use
kind
the
of area for themselves.
they use the hotel, Brian, in Formby, not far from where Klopp was living, and Stevie Gerrard's got his house, and then Brendan Rodgers rented off him. And it's a big, like a big country house. It used to be called Shorrock's Hall, and I know that because I used to go there. They used to have a disco there. And going back in the day, all of the Liverpool players and Everton players used to go there. Normal now as well, and Lee probably, but like even Emlyn Hughes back and Clements, they all went there. You know, it's been going that long. And then they had a refurb a couple of years ago, and they made one side like for Liverpool, one of and the other side for Everton, and that's where they were. You remember when was it Chelsea when we were waiting to win the league during COVID, I think it was, and you saw them all in the garden, and they're waiting for the results so that they could celebrate. That was the place, and that's where they've gone
Sure.
tonight.
Yeah.
The same
Yeah.
place. It's
Mhm.
right on the
Okay.
beach.
Lee just, I think Lee just said it right here. Is this what you're speaking on? Bernie, is that what this was Lee was speaking to?
Oh yeah, Formby. Well, yeah, it's called Formby Grange now, Lee. It used to be called Shorrock's Hall years ago. But yeah, that's the place, and they go there all the time now. For all the celebrations, they get like as if there's, well, they've got the run of the place. They've got suites designated for them. So they're really used to going there.
Crystal Palace push. Almost.
Push.
Yeah.
Remix then.
Arsenal certainly. What do you call it? Squeaky bum time a little bit here.
Yeah, just at the moments. Checking out. Check out. Oh, boy, so if this stays the same, then all we need is a point. We don't even need to win. We need a point.
Do you know what, 12th? I was going to say to you before. Everybody's talking about, well, it wasn't. We haven't had to do anything this year. Everybody else has been poor, and we're just lucky, that we've managed to be so far ahead in the league than anybody else. I'm being facetious there, but one of the things, I was concerned about, I thought, well, if they do all strengthen next year and Arsenal gets better, or they get a better striker, and if City comes back, then you think, how are we going to fare, But I've just got a feeling, the way Slot's been talking lately, I've got a feeling he's got him and Hughes have got a war chest, and I think we're going to.
Don't use the W word.
Those are dangerous words.
Oh, Squeaky bum time.
Numbers just went up to 57 irate Liverpool fans. Don't use the W word.
But I actually think we're going to get a few good, decent players in this year.
Bless you.
Thank you. I heard. I don't know if I'm allergic to the word war chest or not, but
That's something you talk.
yeah.
It's
It happened to a couple of us, I think.
Worcester United. That's us. Worcester United.
Well, honestly, I've got a feeling we're going to spend and get some decent players in.
Well, according to our good friend and correspondent from the Cosmos, maybe, K-Mac, he has guaranteed us on this very show, or on my show. No, on my show, sorry. I think I won't know. But he guaranteed that first signing in the door, day one, no messing about with Rossman. He said it.
Yeah.
And he said we can hold him to it.
Personage than Victor Osserman himself is a definite.
And no less a personage than K-Mac.
That's a very popular subject on Anfield Agenda. I've seen that they've had a couple of thumbnails for that. I was gonna ask. I did see
Ozymandias.
I watched Saturday Social, the Saturday Social show. It's a really good show, and they did a show where they were trying to depict what would be the proper rebuild or what would be the not even rebuild, but the way that Liverpool could have a squad put together. What would be the starting 11 to make a real defended defense of the title? We're in the 90th minute, by the way. Waiting. Oh wow! There's going to be 8 minutes left in this game. By the way, they're giving 8 minutes. There's not been 8 minutes worth of stoppage time in this game. I don't think. By the way.
All right.
Well, there was the thing with the stoppage, like you were doing there with the VAR thing. That took a while.
Couple of 3 minutes,
30 seconds a sub.
Yeah.
30 seconds per every sub, then, don't you?
I guess. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they don't do that. Because sometimes they'll say like they'll do 30 seconds, but it's not like 30 seconds for each substitute. It's like 30 seconds for each.
Oh yeah, it's each stop. Yeah, if they bring on 2.
Oh my goodness. Oh wow, Crystal Palace just came so close to being like Liverpool. Here's your gift
to make it my night.
Oh my goodness, that was close, Nalante. Come on, that was really close.
It was. Come on.
Nalante's in harsh judgment mode. We know when Nalante's in harsh judgment mode. I haven't seen it. I'm not watching it, so I can't. What's the word?
Yeah, this is 8 minutes though. But I was gonna say substitute. Maybe it's like because sometimes you put on 3 substitutes, they're not gonna give you a minute.
Oh, it's only 30 seconds. Yeah, it's not 30. It's not. Yeah. It's only per sub. Yeah, it's per round, not
per round of sub. Exactly.
Yeah. It's not 90. It's not 90 seconds if you bring on 3 guys. Even though that probably bringing on 3 guys in one go.
Saliba was so fortunate to get a piece of that.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
that would have been nice. That would have been a nice shot, actually.
Oh my goodness!
Win it on your birthday, Nalante. That would have been nice.
This would be really nice. This would be a nice little birthday gift for the lot.
All the way from Arne Slot to Nalante.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, all you need is JK here, and he can get out the Arnie Slot t-shirts.
Yeah, the merch is dropping, lads. The merch
exactly,
is
dropping. Start the realism.
Hold on, is it 2-2 or what? Because I thought it was still 2-1 to Arsenal. Is it 2-2, is it?
2-2, yeah.
Yeah, Desmond. Mateta. Mistake by the golden boy.
That's slightly attention. I've just on the phone, yeah, and it says both goals I'm liking that because that'll the thing, you know.
Lee, stop talking.
Winning it by a point at the weekend, yeah, that sounds good to me.
Lee, stop talking to Trace Phil on the phone.
Exactly. That's all right, buddy. I think Lee was playing Scrabble on the phone with Tracy. Can we play Scrabble? No. Scrabble.
Is that what they call it? Is that what they call it? Scrabble. Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
Is that what they call it now? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's Trace Phil. It's you've got to merge the names. Trace Phil. Oh.
Trace Phil. Apologies, buddy. Trace Phil and Lee. Blowing hot nothings on the phone. Scrabble.
Phone Scrabble. Is that a term for something naughty, Lee?
That's what I'm saying. I think that's what the kids are calling. I was only playing phone Scrabble. Yeah.
Exactly.
Lee's such a dark horse, isn't
he? He is. Lee's the one that you wouldn't suspect in the middle of the party. Lee's the one that gets all the goodies, but you wouldn't know it.
He's put his picture up in a yellow kit with short trousers on, but really all the time, he's hanging out with Trace Phil. You can't put the two together, can you?
Bernie, you told us the story about Byron McFadden. He said he was a Liverpool fan. He lied.
He said he was an Arsenal fan. He lied.
Exactly, Brian.
He said he was a Newcastle fan. He lied.
Lied. Yeah. He said he was from Cork, Brian. He lied.
He lied. He lied.
Cork, not Cork, Cork.
Cork. Cork. Is that the right way, Brian?
What do you think?
95th minute here, 3 minutes left. 95th minute, 3 minutes left in extra time. Still 2-2. This newly put upon pressure on Arsenal has them now with the ball, fortunately for them, that they were able to get away from it.
Mm.
Well, I have. This might be a complicated question. Can I give a question? It's more
Get
of
it, get it in. Get it in.
okay. And this is just a bit of fun, right? So if you're not in the kind of frame of mind that you're talking about replacing players, don't worry about that. Okay. Let's just say you could have a dream summer. Now I did this last night on my, but I'm going to change it up. Let's like we did it last night we were on for hours, so we ended up doing everything. But we did like people doing their dream summer, and it was like Lautaro and Isaac and Verts, and everyone had a great time. But let's just say you could buy between 3 and 5 players this summer, right? And it would be your dream summer. But you can only buy players who are currently in the Premier League.
Okay.
People in the chat, if you could, like, if you knew we were going to buy 3 or 4 players this summer, go stretch it to 5 if you want. But who would be your dream players? But because a lot of the same people were on my show last time, we did the dream signing thing. But you can only buy players who are currently playing in the Premier League. Don't have to answer it right now, but people in the chat, get your little list together. Lads, come up with one if you want to, if you can. Straight away. Because people are talking about Mateta and stuff. It's like, you probably get 3 or 4 together. So I can think of 2 straight away. 3.
I'm trying to think of my 3. Wow. By the way, AC Milan has won 3-0 over Inter.
Yeah, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
They ain't making Champions League, but that's a big one for them.
Still, it's a derby all the same.
Yeah. Good game, yeah. They need that. Yeah.
And it was at Inter. It wasn't at AC Milan. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, they just wait same ground, but yeah, their players are home team. So,
anyway, home team meaning that's all.
Home team. Oh yeah. No, but that's a good result. I know they're struggling.
Anything for Milan in terms of their positioning? Is it a big win for them in terms of where they're going to finish, or are they where are they in the table? Milan.
The title race is alive, yeah.
It's got to be about 6, I think, because they're struggling for Champions League. So they might. I don't think they'll make Champions League, but I'll see. I have to check.
Much when we've played them, I feel a bit sorry for them because they were such a brilliant team when they were good. But yeah, they haven't been up to much when we played them recently. Their recent incarnations in the Champions League. They've scored a couple of goals against us, though, haven't they? God bless them. But yeah, things aren't what they were for the mighty Milan, are they?
Desmond Tutu has now just finished his performance or finished his sermon.
Well played, Palace. Well played.
Yeah. I don't think many people had this going down at the Emirates this way, especially the way it started off. But it is 2-2 at the Emirates. Mateta is the Crystal Palace hero with that crazy, I don't know what it is. Like
he's been on fire, Mateta.
Ever since the injury, the head injury, he's been on fire.
Oh no, 12. I'll go before that. I'll go when Glasner came in. He just picked up. In last season, he just picked up. He's just
Yeah. Do you know, I was looking before last season in 23-24. He played 30. Well, no, go the year before, 22-23. He played 29 matches. He only had 2 goals and no assists.
Yeah.
Last year, he had 35 matches, 16 goals,
Yeah.
5 assists. And so far this year, he's had 32 matches, 13 goals and 2 assists. So he's just improving, that guy, isn't he, each year, I think. You know, apart from his-
Exactly, Bernie. Oh, agreed. That's why I have to give props to Glasner, because when Elise went, they struggled, and he's picked them up. He's picked them up, and Mateta, he's got the best out of him. He's like a striker that's wanted. He's like a very underrated now, and fair
Yeah.
play. Fair play.
Guy as well, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah, exactly, Bernie. Exactly. So that means all we need is a point, and that's it.
So even if we draw, we've won.
Yeah, exactly, Bernie. So that's it. But let's just get the win. Let's just just get a performance. You know what? Sunday's the only game where I will actually shut up and I won't say anything. Even if we have a stinker for 85 minutes and we still win the game, I won't even moan because we've won the league. I'm not even going to say anything. So
Is
You
that a
said
promise?
it,
Yeah.
that's a promise, honestly, Brian.
Okay.
Scouts on Scouts
Brian,
on
Okay.
Brian, he
Scouts
said
on the Brian.
that, but you know Slot's going to get a slaughtering at the end of the game.
Hey, I'll do it. There's only one person that'll
JK's
do
got
that.
T-shirts to sell. JK's got T-shirts to sell. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Okay. He's got 10,000. He's got 10,000 I blame slot T-shirts ready to go. Man's got to work.
Yeah, you know why he's in Germany, don't you? He's promoting Erdinger. That's JK. That's because he's really Jurgen Klopp. We all know that now.
It is about we.
There's a few other characters from Love Boat, not just the captain. I remember there was like a doctor. He was like a funny guy. With the doctor, he wore glasses. And there was like a woman who, I don't know what her job was, I've forgotten. She was like medical-ish or something, and she was in it every week. But it was different people every week, wasn't it? Like, who go into the story. And there'd be a really old couple about like 70 or something, like who'd fall in love on the Love Boat. And a young couple as well. Like.
Can you sing the tune to Love Boat?
Yeah, I can remember just one verse that tickled me.
Oh, Bernie, you tease.
Go on, Lee. What was it?
Go on, Lee. Yeah.
You don't want me to do it again, do you?
Yeah, go on.
Look, 12 is excited. I can see the look on 12's face.
Yeah.
It went.
He's trying to figure out how to stop the internet.
He's trying to figure out to kill
Don't
us
really
all
want to do it twice.
I want to come on camera for this.
I've got to get one of those like we when the emergency things come on and we regret to interrupt your broadcast too.
12 has the buttons. He's the producer with the buttons.
Yeah, and they're like, what is that code? What is that code?
You mean like in the disaster movies where the aliens have taken over, and
Yeah, the doctor, he had like sunglasses-ish. One of them things that they're like half sunglasses and half real glasses. That's what he wore, the doctor on the Love Boat. And he liked a bevy now, and he'd turn up and be like, tell jokes.
He's not a Love Boat.
Brian,
Yeah,
can you remember
yeah.
the tune though? I can't remember the tune.
The captain was a bald man. He was bald but tanned, and he always wore white shirt, white shorts, long white socks, white pumps. Like he was
Did he look
dressed in
like
white with a bald head and a tan. The captain of the Love Boat.
so a bit like Slot? He looked a bit like Slot, did he?
Yeah, but a maritime man, like Slot, but a maritime man. That's all.
What with anchor-tapping?
Some bald men do look alike. Some bald men look very different. So, you know what I mean? But you can sometimes think bald men look alike, can't you? Which is a sin to do that to people just because they want to wear. But sometimes they can. So it's like there's a lot of them all at once. You don't know which one is which.
All bald men look the same, according to Lee.
don't.
So yeah,
I would have pains to explain that they don't. Then you know what I mean. But like some people do say that. Not me, mate. It's not me, governor. I would not say that. My own
no,
dad,
well, and it's also and
who I
it's,
love and
it's
cherish, like my own father, he's bald, anyways. You know what I mean? I still love him, like, despite his lack of hair.
well,
Despite the fact he's
Arteta's
probably
hair did him no good this year, and the two he outdid the other bald baldy, so he's the number one baldy in the Premier League. Guardiola can't do it. Arteta in his Lego hair can't keep up. Maresca, another baldy.
C-Tech.
Ten Hag was
Yeah.
one, too.
Ten Hag couldn't do it, no matter how bald he was.
Moyes and Amram have brought hair back to Old Trafford, and Goodison, haven't they?
I do have an answer. So I have an answer for your three current players thing.
3 to 5, yeah. If you want to, yeah, we got a few actually.
Five?
I'll scroll back up. We'll scroll. Well, I said, yeah, I like last night. I said your dream summer, like.
If
Don't
it's
go mad
five,
on
I have
6 and
five.
7, but
I have four. I have
yeah,
three.
you can have 2. You can have 5. I was kind of going to limit it at 5.
And it could be anyone. It could be any player.
They have to be playing in the Premier League. Yeah, you can buy any player you want, but they have to be currently playing in the Premier League. So I'll get
You mean
you
like
can.
currently playing as in like they're not injured or they're.
No, they play for a Premier League club,
Okay,
not currently playing. As
they're on the current rosters of Premier League.
They play in the Premier League.
Right. Okay.
So I'll give you a second.
I do have 5. And the reason why I have 5 is because like, I had 3, but it depends. Like, because I don't know how Rodri's going to like. Rodri had a serious knee injury. It's going to take him a year to get back, most likely to the levels that he was playing at before the knee injury. But I mean, like,
well, I can. If you want to refine your list, I can run through some of the chat ones.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, I'll have an answer for mine. So just go ahead and give yours.
Cool. Red said Isaac, Kirkes, and Livramento.
I think those are.
Irate said Dean Hyson, Kirkes, Wharton, Isaac, and Rogers. Abdul went in Buemo, Cunha, Isaac, Hyson, Baleba, Kirkes. That's a lot. Isaac, Vardiol, Rice, no. Kluivert, Gabriel, Alex.
That's $225.
And yeah, I think that was it.
Okay.
And that was everyone so far. Yep.
Okay. I think someone's TV is on the background.
It was me. I've just Googled Klopp's like Chivago out there because I've never seen it. He only says like one word, don't he? Goes something, hello or something. And it was just other people talking at the beginning. Sorry, I had to hear it. It was in my mind to see.
Oh, no worries.
He's out there. He hardly appears. He must have got loads of money for that.
But $1 million a word, probably. Good work. You can get it.
I think my answers are pretty simply put in that I would most likely try to drain whatever is the source of power of our rivals, do a Bayern Munich move, if you will, and poach the best players from our rivals, because I could care less about it being some like, good matches between those that are trying to take us down from our pursuit of champions status. So I would have on my list, I would have the man who just gave the errant pass to Mateta. I would have Saliba. I would have, if we can have 5, which is cool, because I was going to do 3. If I couldn't get Saliba, I was going to
keep it loose, basically. Keeping it loose.
It wasn't Saka as well. That takes Saka.
The only rule was they have to be playing for, or they have to be current Premier League players. That was the only rule. So
okay, these are all current Premier League players.
Yeah.
So I take Saliba, Saka, knock those two, take their 2 best players off, and see what there goes Arsenal. Now I'd move on to obviously City next, and I would definitely look to bring in Rodri, if he's ready and healthy. And I would take Holland as well. Take away their glorified source of their 10-year man would now be a 10-year Liverpool player. And then I would finalize that list with a team that's not necessarily pushing us in any measure of the word for trophies, but I would probably take as my fifth choice. I take Mr. Palmer.
Refresh me memory exactly what type of
What's the last guy you said?
Exactly what type of injury was it that
Cole Palmer.
Yeah,
Cole Palmer. Okay.
why I did the celebration.
What type of
Yeah,
injury
sorry, I
was
couldn't hear.
it Rodri got?
He does this. I'm cold.
I just thought it was because you'd moved east.
Oh, no.
Not west, but north.
Did Rodri get an ACL injury, did he, to put him out for the season?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
What do you reckon the chances are of him like aggravating it again and breaking down again?
Well, it's a whole dream signing thing, so it's more of a kind of you don't have to worry about that. They all sign, they all work out great. It's all
Yeah, no. Yeah. Well, the reasons of it being
Cole Palmer's interesting one. Nobody said him. Nobody said even on the shows you're doing last night.
If you want an offensive minded 10, he would be certainly a very viable choice at that role.
I like Cole Palmer. I think he's good.
Go ahead, Barney. Sorry, Barney. Did you have?
Yeah, I was going to say mine would be obviously Isak. Everybody wants him, but I'd have him. I'd still have Kevin De Bruyne. I'd have Dunk.
okay.
Dunk.
Dunk.
Right?
Yeah.
Brighton captain.
Lewis Dunk.
Lewis Dunk.
Yeah.
I'd have the Labour.
Okay.
And Buemo. That's it.
Okay.
Interesting.
Lewis Dunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A back four with BBD and Lewis Dunk.
Because what?
Because I think he's good in defence. I think he's a good player.
Didn't it used to be Duncan Duffy? They had a guy called Duffy as well. It was Duncan Duffy years ago.
Yeah, Shane Duffy. He's still there. He went up to Celtic and it went badly wrong, really badly wrong.
Duncan Duffy.
Yeah. No, but Brian, Lewis Dunk has got more passes than Van Dijk.
Dropping stats on you.
Well, Brighton, exactly.
I like it, see?
He's been quite a big player for Brighton, like in whatever they have achieved, managing to get European football under De Zerbi.
Yeah.
He was quite a big player for them, Dunk, wasn't he? He was captain and that, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Stuck in, didn't he? Got a few goals. Got a couple against us, didn't he, Dunk?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In terms of passes, he's got 3,212. And after that, Pascal, is it Graffs? I can't remember.
Gross.
Yeah, he's got 2,900. But after that is Verge. But actually, Verge is... Oh, no, Rodri's first, sorry. Lewis Dunk second.
But Gross is in Germany now, so is that Europe-wide?
No, well, especially the Premier League. But
Gross is in Germany now.
Oh, well. Well, anyway, Virgil was fourth. And
that's probably last year's stats.
Yeah.
You're trying to let's see. It doesn't say the year. It's probably 10 years ago.
Right.
Gross is
picking up the old newspaper.
Sorry.
Yeah, Tommy Smith I've got as well. And no, I'm only joking.
Yeah, right. You're right. Yeah.
Edmund Hughes is topping it. No. Look, the point stands. He is a great player. I think he's like 31 now. But that was a great partnership. That Duncan Duffy partnership.
Yeah.
Duffy's a real threat from set pieces, scores goals for them. And it was, I think he eventually, one of those guys that eventually got an England call up, but he might even be Scouse. I'm not sure.
He wasn't in Bordeaux, was he, Shane Duffy?
No.
Don't you
Wow.
think,
What?
Brian, that there's
Well, he
quite
went to Celtic. You see, everybody thought he was going to get like a big, and then he went to Celtic, and people were like, "What's he doing going to Celtic?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, Champions League." And I was like, "Okay, but and everyone's kind of saying he's going to be because he was one of the top centre halves in that partnership in England statistically and all that, and also basically playing well. But everyone thought he was going to be just like overpowered in the SPL. He was going to be an amazing player, and he was. Celtic fans, I tell you, he's one of the worst players they
Exactly.
ever had there. Whatever happened to him up there, weird. And he came back. He's an Irish, like he plays for Ireland, but
Yeah, I
I
remember
mean,
no,
him.
it's
Yeah.
just interesting
Like,
because nobody mentioned him.
back in the
Obviously,
Premier League,
nobody
like him
mentioned
and
Cole
Duff were
Palmer.
quite a decent. Him and Dunk were quite a decent partnership for them when they got back. When they got promoted and first came back in the Premier League.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good, strong player, isn't he? But do you know what? There's an awful lot of Irish players going under the radar in the Premier League who are like real, not journeymen as such, but like putting the miles in and putting the effort in, and they're not getting all the accolades, but there's quite a few decent ones there that you think you'd have in your team, and they do a good job for you. I don't know about Dunk though; he's English.
he's English, yeah. Probably got Irish grandmother, maybe.
He's all right. I'm not into the idea of him in our team. Like,
Nah, he's
along
good.
with quite a few
He's
other
good.
players, but he's okay.
Yeah.
Hang on a minute, I've gone off him. He's a Chelsea fan and he idolised John Terry.
There you go. Another scumbag.
Yeah, God, take him off my list.
No, it's not good enough for us. Like, there's quite a few
No.
players who've been mentioned for us lately, like though that aren't good enough for us.
Do
Quite
you
a few.
going back in the day, my
Yes.
little nephew's like really, big Liverpool fan, and we used to watch the games together. And he'd say to me, "Bern, I can't stand that dog breath." Didier Drogba, And I said to him, "Yeah, but you'd have him in the team, though, wouldn't you, Aid?" And he'd say, "Oh yeah, definitely, yeah, But I think there's just some players like that you think you can't stand, but if you had the chance, would you take them
Oh,
on?
100%.
Yeah,
All day, every day. I'll take Drogba.
Mm.
yeah, he was a great player, wasn't
Would you
Yeah.
take Bruno?
Yeah. He,
No.
Would you take Bruno?
I would.
25 goals a season when he came in. That guy, would you have taken him?
he?
Nope.
Fernandes.
He took a while to
Bruno.
warm
Oh,
up.
Bruno Fernandez. Yeah.
Nope.
It's
Master
always Brian.
Splinter. I'd have Master Splinter with the players we've got, yeah. Give him a
Okay.
go, Master Splinter, yeah.
Not for me.
He's done well for them, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Because he's Manchester United through.
By
and
the
through.
way, Crystal Palace. Oh, sorry to cut you off, Bernie. I didn't. But I want to make sure I got the quote correct. Crystal Palace's Twitter account has just given us all a message saying, "You're welcome, Liverpool."
Good on them.
We
That was
thank
their
you.
official message on Twitter. I just saw them post on live on television here.
I love the trolling. I love it. I love the trolling of them lot. No problem. We thank you, Crystal Palace. We thank you. We thank you for
Are you sure that was Palace's Twitter account and not GTV's?
Right. Yeah.
Never forget.
Yes.
Never
Cheers to Palace for that one, definitely.
Mistakes cost us 3 points.
Yeah.
They haven't got a lot of famous fans, Palace. I can only think of that commentator. I think he's called Jonathan Pierce, something like that.
Commentators don't count.
Quite chubby. He's quite chubby and
doesn't count.
enthusiastic, nice guy, whatever.
Yeah, but that doesn't
he's
count.
a Palace fan.
Is that? Yeah, but a commentator being a fan, that doesn't count as a famous fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're
doesn't.
they're working in the football world, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's not really
Doesn't count.
There's a boxer, but I don't think anyone will know him. He's a Crystal Palace fan, but I don't think anyone will know him. So he's a good boxer. His
Well,
name's
there's a really, really famous Liverpool YouTuber. What's his name? He's really famous. He's a really famous Liverpool YouTuber.
For
What's
what?
his name? He's a Crystal Palace fan.
Oh, yeah.
Is it
Huh?
No,
No, you already
GTV,
mentioned- you already
that's it.
mentioned-
GTV,
you already
that's it.
mentioned.
Yeah, GTV. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is K-Mac from Liverpool? He sounds like he's got a Liverpool accent.
Is who from Liverpool?
K-Mac.
Yeah. Yeah.
K-Max is Scouser. Yes.
Yeah, he sounds like he's got a Liverpool accent. Just wondered.
Yes. K-Max is a Scouser.
I think he's the football correspondent for the club. But anyway,
It's Victor Osimhen's agent.
yeah. Jeez. Oh my lord. Anyway,
yeah.
don't forget,
No,
Endo's
he's
meant to leave.
Okay, let's just say hypothetically. K-Mac is right. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's just say K-Mac is right. And
Correct. Okay.
the second day of, when the window opens up, boom, there's your big exclusive story. Osimhen arrives in Liverpool to sign for Arne Slot. How are we feeling? Are we happy with that?
No.
Is that a deal that we?
I mean,
if
I
that's
would I would get behind any person becomes a Red. I get behind. I would get behind supporting them as being obviously someone that can help us, go towards glory. There's no point in rooting against your, the players that.
Well, yeah, sort of.
No, because there
I
are
know
people.
I know you're saying.
There are people amongst
yeah.
our fan base that do that. There's some that they don't like a player, or they maybe don't like a player for whatever reason, and they'll go as far as to celebrate their misfortunes and try, and if not, wish for their bad performances to that ultimately could affect us. So that makes no sense to me. But going beyond that, I was just going to say that I would, I wouldn't go for Osimhen only because there's a lot of red flags that are connected with the player. Most notably for me, because of the situation with his parent club, obviously in Italy, but also the fact that if he was such a high coveted player, why is he playing in Turkey currently and not in the Premier League? Chelsea were on the verge of trying to quote unquote bring him in, and then they got really that simmered, and it's one of the cases where I'd say I'd rather see us go for Ekatike or my pick is sitting in. If we're going to go for a player that we got to spend 50, 60 million on, I say go for that guy that's sitting in Germany right now, playing for Bayern Munich. So, but if Osimhen were to be the choice, hey, I would wish him all the world of success, but he wouldn't be my first choice, put it that way.
I'd be pleased nonetheless, to get a striker in. I hope we act quickly once the market opens. I hope they don't keep us hanging on till the bloody end of the market, to do something.
12th, you did a show last year, and where you said if you were looking for number 9, who would you want?
Receipts.
And I said Osimhen, and you said that's a shout burner. I remember at the time, and I think Brian said we couldn't afford him; he'd be too expensive. I think he might have been 100 million then.
Back then he was, yeah.
Yeah.
Now you can get him for 70. You can get him for 70 million quid now. That's his release cost.
Yeah, but that's just going to say whatever's happened to him in the meantime, where he's ended up at Turkey, and that
he fell out with the owner, basically. He fell out with the owner. Let's not forget who that owner is. It's De Laurentiis. The guy's insane. He's a complete nutcase. Fell out with the owner. The deal with Chelsea fell through. I can look that up. I remember that. I know what happened there, but I can't bring it to mind right now.
Yeah, but Brian, didn't he say as well? I think they missed the window, literally just missed it. But didn't he say when he was asked, because we were looking at him, and I'm sure he said he wouldn't come to Liverpool. Osimhen, I might be wrong, but I've just got that feeling that he said he wouldn't come to us.
Oh yeah, I don't. Okay, yeah, I don't remember that. But
No.
yeah, I don't think he's an ideal pick for us either. I just mean in terms of like, obviously, we bring in someone like that, big money striker. It's obviously that the manager thinks he can work in the system. So bang, you get behind him and you go, great. It'd be great for everybody that was wanted him to sign to be proved right, and be great for everybody that didn't want him to sign to be proved wrong. Because guess what? That means he's been a success for Liverpool. Bang, ergo, we win shit. That's how it works. It's not about numbers or names on the back of the shirt. It's just about the players that come in, put up the numbers, we win things, we thank them. But if he was our guy, cool, bring him in. Um, that'd be the way. I don't, yeah, but I just mean in terms of like it would go down the dream signing thing. If you could pick like one of your strikers, where would he be on the list? I don't think he's very high up the list for a lot of people. Whereas 2 years ago, everybody wanted him,
I
120.
didn't. Yeah.
Now it's like, so is it like, do we know like one weird? Yeah, it's Napoli, it's De Laurentiis. He gets out of there. He's definitely going. He's definitely going to go somewhere in the summer, whatever it might be. But now all of a sudden he's not the player people wanted 2 years ago. I just think he's kind of built for the Premier League, whether it's us or not. He's
Yeah.
very Chelsea. He's a very, very Chelsea
Yeah.
signing.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
the
You're not a
problem.
big fan of that area.
No, no. I mean, he's obviously I watch because he's Nigerian, but you don't get me. He's a finisher. You give him the ball, he'll score goals, but he's round up plays, build up plays, not all that. But again, you're not going to care if he bangs in the goals. I just think he's very hit and miss for me. And I think if we don't get Isak, if we're selling Darwin, we don't get Isak. There's no striker out there that will be available. That will be like there will all be risks. You can only just hope that they do a job. That's the thing. I mean, I'm scratching my head. I can't think of anyone if we don't get Isak in terms of realistic to get Cunha. Yes, but he's not. I guess. Yeah, but again,
He's going to United, man. That's
Yeah.
almost certainly a done deal
yeah.
now at this stage.
But
He's going to
Who would you guys get? That's what. This is the problem, realistically, because there's no one out there really. You can say,
It's well not saying Harry Kane. If you want to bring in a short term 2 years guaranteed goals, yeah, you're not going to get any money back. He's going to be 34. He's going to cost you a lot of money. But if you want someone that's probably going to just guarantee you score goals for 2 years, just go and do that.
yeah, that's a no-brainer. But that's it.
Are we going to do that though? Lewandowski's in for Barcelona. He's in at Bayern. Yeah, do we go down that route? It's not very it's what we're led to believe FSG will never do is buy older players and stuff. But are we being too locked into that? Could they pull out one out of the bag and go, yeah, we've identified kind of this player as being worth X amount of kind of value, blah blah blah, even though there's going to be no signing on fee. I know it's like the KDB hard. I mean, it's just I'm trying to open it up there. I don't see it happening either, but obviously not the KDB thing. Definitely not. But just you look around the world and there are strikers performing at a higher level. Are we the kind of club that goes and does that? I don't know.
There was this is an interesting report. I'm gonna see. Hopefully, I'm not glitching too much because the site I'm on has a bunch of different videos and pop-ups popping up. But apparently, at the time, this is according to Info Watch. At the time, back in 2020, Napoli were also keen on Osman's services, and both made strong advances to sign him, meaning us and Napoli. And Napoli won the race for Osman's signature, but they used some desperate measures apparently to prevent him from joining Liverpool. As it is being reported, they apparently went to the length of locking him in his hotel room. That's according to Giando Mencchio Costi, who worked with Napoli's sporting director, Cristiano Giantoli. At the Italian side, Costly lifted the lid on Osimhen's move to Napoli in an interview 2 years ago. He told outlet Tutto Sport, the signing of Osimhen is Giuntoli's biggest masterpiece. He was locked in a hotel for 3 days. Giuntoli knew Liverpool were interested, and Jurgen Klopp had made his move. But Cristiano spoke to Osimhen in the hotel for 3 days until he convinced him to accept Napoli. Osimhen's relationship has changed with Napoli in the 5 years since, ebbing and flowing in the earlier years, blah, blah, blah. It's very interesting that that's the case. Is where that's how you got your man.
Napoli do have a bit of a reputation of being awkward to buy from, don't they? Napoli. It's been that way with a few players, like them actually letting them go. They do in the end, like. But it'd be interesting to know what the fee would be for Osimhen. That's what I'd like to know.
70 million.
50 to
It's
60
70
million.
million. It's a 70 million euro release clause.
In the article, it said 50 to 60. Brian saying 70.
70 and,
Yeah, it's a 70 million euro release clause, but
what is it in our money?
You're talking about Kane. I was just talking about Osimhen.
No, Osimhen is the same. Osimhen has a 70 million. It's like 70.2 euros, so it's whatever it's coming out. But that's just a release clause. Yeah, this summer Osimhen can be bought for 70. Same as Kane. Kane's release clause is
it's being
70.
reported also. This has just been reported. This like 2 days ago, I think, actually. On Monday, you're saying that Victor Osimhen has reportedly agreed to personal terms for Manchester United ahead of a summer move. Now the owner forward Osimhen will give Galatasaray will leave Galatasaray when his season-long loan move ends next month. Apparently, champs elect will reportedly challenge the rivals for the rumored agreement. Yeah, I'd be very interested to see where this exactly goes. I'd be very interested. I couldn't tell you if it's going to actually happen or not, but I'm not I'm not an ITK when it comes to this. I'm not trying to pretend that I am. I do a lot of reading though, but
Leave it to the famous ITKs.
yeah, exactly. It's I just don't know. It's just interesting. I think one of the biggest, and this is why I was going to try looking this up real quick. Let me see what he's actually. So currently, he is on about, let's call it's 98,000 pounds, approximately around 98,000 pounds a week. So it's about 100,000 pounds a week that he's on. But this is where, and this is why I would stutter to get to the spot of saying that I'm all on board for Osimhen. It is being reported also that one of the main reasons why he doesn't want to stick with Napoli, and one of the main reasons why he wants a move to a big club, is not necessarily for the glory of trophies. It's for the glory of money. And he is looking for 500,000 pounds a week. That's what the apparent. Remember, I told you Chelsea was in the room trying to acquire this player. That is that's what they were basically. That was the number that he was trying to get Chelsea to agree to. 500,000 pounds per week. Now, even if he were to not get that figure, which I don't think he will, I don't think he's worth 500,000 pounds per week.
No.
I don't even know if he's worth half of that, to be honest with you.
250K.
He'd probably get 300. He'll get 300 from somebody.
Yeah, I
Are
think.
you willing to say that you would want to put 300? Because you
No,
can
I'm just saying he'll get 300 from somebody.
Well, I'm not
That's
saying
what he'll sign
necessarily
up.
wrong.
Yeah,
I'm asking you
yeah,
though.
someone
If,
will pay him that.
yeah, 300,000 is the mark that he settles on, right? Is Osimhen a 300,000 pound player? Because that is going to have an
No,
impact on the players.
never played in England. He's
Right.
never played
That's
in
going to
England.
have
He
an
won't know.
impact on the players that you are able to bring in. I sooner would see, again, I don't think, I know the Harry Kane was asked to be stopped, but hey, unfortunately, it's just going to keep on going because I would sooner say pay Harry Kane 300,000 pounds a week before I say pay Osimhen 300,000 pounds a week because I've seen
He's on 4. He's on 4.
I get,
Bayern. He ain't
well, he's
walking
on
away from that.
40,000 euros, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
He ain't working away. He ain't walking away from 400K at Bayern to take a pay cut to come back to Liverpool.
I'm just telling you what he's obviously going to have to. He's not coming back.
Yeah, but no, this thing. Why is everybody assuming that he's leaving Bayern?
Because he put it out there that he was in an interview and said he was like open to a move back to England.
Yeah, he's open to a move back. See, this thing. This is all spiraled out, and he's not leaving Bayern. I'll bet you 100 quid that right now Harry Kane does not leave Bayern.
Bets
No
are
chance.
us.
No chance.
£100 bet. Any
He's staying
takers?
exactly where he is.
No wagering like that.
No, he's staying
What's
exactly
that?
where
Not right
he
now.
is. Him coming back to England is a non-story. It's a non-mover.
I mean, to be honest, with Harry, I was surprised when I heard again when you're saying to, I'm surprised I heard it because he's gone to Bayern for a reason and they're doing well. Unless his family's unsettled, then I can understand that. But that
Oh,
and
yeah,
break.
if it's one of those things or something, yeah.
Yeah.
But for footballer reasons, no.
Breaking the records, that's it. And
Yeah, who gives a fuck about that one, really?
I know. But it's just a bit mad. Going back and then, you're going to Bayern, that's the team will be Champions League. And he's going to win finally a trophy. The Spurs curse is lifted. So, it's a bit, but we'll see.
3 or 4 there.
There's a lot.
He's not
I think there's
21.
a lot involved.
It's not impossible.
I'm not obviously Harry Kane's mate, nor am I someone that has an inside track as to why or what he's thinking. But I'm just from my own personal perspective, I would say that there are some very, very loud overtures of why it would be beneficial or why it would be tempting for him to, despite making close to 400,000 pounds, I think it was, like you were saying, in Germany currently. And it would be very difficult to see someone walk away from that kind of paycheck. At the very same time, he might be looking at it as he could join a team like he's not going to join Arsenal. I don't think that's a possible thing. That would, if he does want to have, he does have some strong emotional ties to Spurs. I don't think he wants to do the Sol Campbell thing. But I could say this: he could be looking at it as the Premier League is possibly the most "quote unquote" wide open to another team other than City winning the title. City has a lot of work to do in getting back to the dominant status that they were holding on to for so long in the league. So joining a team like a Liverpool, I doubt he joins a team goes back to Spurs, but joining a team like a Liverpool, he could possibly not only solidify himself as getting closer to that Shearer record, which I'm sure he wants to do. He could also add himself as a Premier League title winner, which would certainly solidify himself as being a England great of all time. I think a lot of it's what I'm just speaking on. I believe his legacy, for the portion about his legacy, I think matter quite a bit to him too, because he wants to do things that matter in his life. He's spoken about going to America to play in the NFL. You know, do I see him doing it? Maybe, probably not. But I mean, he's spoken about his obsession with maybe going to the NFL and being an NFL kicker. You know, who knows? Who knows? So yeah, it's just picking up on what the chat's talking about, making sure that we're all on the same page. Sometimes the chat talks about some wild, crazy things. I guess. But anything you guys want to speak on to before we get closer to bringing the show to a close? Since we didn't get we're so close. We saw a very good result. Our now result has gone from being we need a win at Anfield to now being we need a draw at Anfield.
I think Tsimikas might start the match again and Robbo come off the bench. What do you reckon?
It's a good question.
He should start Tsimikas, but I think he'll refer back to Robbo. I don't know why. I just got a feeling.
Yeah.
Well, it's two starts in a row for Simi, right?
I might be swapping out one player from my top 5.
Was it?
Actually.
Yeah. Yeah, bro.
Yeah, it was. He started the last 2 games, Tsimikas.
I'd like to see it continue. Give him a
Never
shot.
know. We all thought Robbo would come back in and Simi didn't start for 5 games or something. Oh well, that's it. Robbo's going to start. But then last couple of games, one is one. You can switch out for one, but then you don't start for 2 games. That's the thing. There's only so many games. If you're talking about 6 games, you don't start 2 of them. That's not just rotation, or it's no, you've kind of potentially lost your place there. So maybe in a situation, yeah, I know it seems to be fairly kind of it's almost a coin flip call, the 2 of them. Robbo and Simi, don't think it really matters that much for the rest of the season.
Has potentially got
what's he going to be up against? What's he going to be up against? Brennan Johnson.
It does matter.
Brennan Johnson.
I think it matters in the sense of this. This could be an actual, when you say that you put the piece on display, basically. If you could put out there that Tsimikas, put Tsimikas out there and really start to make a movement for him, allow for him to get some starts, get some quality performances. Maybe it ups the sale value for Tsimikas, because I don't think that we'll be going into. I don't think we'll be going into a new year with 3 left backs if we are to go out and get a Kirkaz.
Well, no, exactly. Everyone's saying we're going to buy a left back. If we buy a left back, we're selling one. We ain't exactly 2 into 3. 3 into 2 spots. Obviously, one will leave. So maybe it is a bit of shop window.
It's worth starting him again, isn't it? If you think about it,
he never lets you down. It's not like he's ever been that awful, horrible game that Tsimikas had that we lost. He just does a good job at left back.
Robertson's been worn out, hasn't he? Over the last 7 years, he still can play, but I'd like him to be a number 2 in the future to a new left back that could play a lot of the games. But Robertson could still play then, I don't know, 5 or 7 games in a row, say here and there. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I think he might be a bit knackered now, mate. So we'll play Tsimikas just to see what he can do. He can easily play in that back 5, Tsimikas with Alisson, Van Dijk, Canate, and whoever plays right back, whether it's Bradley or Trent. You can easily do that, especially in a home game. show him what he can do with his left foot, won't he?
But sometimes I look at our players, on the best bits on YouTube and that, and you could look at Diaz and you think, although sometimes he lets us down a bit, you could look at him and think how another team would think, yeah, look at him, he could really, we'd go for him, and Gakpo the same, certain ones. I think Jota's losing his appeal, but I think with Simeon, although he works hard for us and he is a grafter, you've got to say he punches above his weight sometimes. But you just think, like if we put him up for sale, I often think, who's coming in for him with big money? There's nobody really, is that? When you think.
No, there's no big money, but I'm wondering just how much money we could get. Like, would it be just breaking even, 10 million?
Yeah, you get that for him, I think. You'd hope so, but you'd probably get it in maybe Greece or somewhere like that.
Yeah, it's 10 million towards a new left back, isn't it?
But then you think, though, Lee, is it worth selling him for 10 million? Because 10 million is nothing today.
Well, if we got our money back after 5 years youth, that wouldn't be too bad, would it? As I said, we put that towards whoever we plump for as replacements.
That's what I'm saying, but if you got a replacement, what's it going to cost you? And if you can come, I think we need like a new one, and then he's on the bench, and then Robbo's maybe third choice, or would you rather like have Robbo on the bench and you think
Kerkez is not exactly inexpensive, is he? Kerkez, we've never paid big money for fullbacks ever. So the idea that we pay like if it's I don't know what sort of fee we could agree with them, but like if it could be too much. It might be too much for us. So it'll have to be someone else. It'll have to be a different player, wouldn't it?
It's always been hard, hasn't it, to get like a left back and that, decent.
Bit hard to take that if we didn't have enough money to buy him, like. Anthony Robinson as well, isn't there? And a couple of others. There's other probably ones we could buy, but I would like them to buy Kerkez.
Who would you rather have?
Age,
if we had the choice of buying Kerkez or Anthony Robinson, who would you go for?
Kerkez, because he's younger. I'd go for the
Who were the choices again?
Kerkez or Anthony Robinson?
Oh yeah, I'd go with Jedi. I know that Kerkez is the younger option, but I just think that we would, for right now, I'm just looking. I think my perspective on what we have is that I'm looking at it as we have 2 years to maximize the most out of Virgil and Salah. And I'm looking at it as in those 2 years, I'm not looking for project players. So like
I feel Bournemouth won't be Bournemouth won't be too happy to sell both players to us, would they? Kerkez and Hyson. So it might be either or, mightn't it? So
Lee, what Lee Wizkid is saying is accurate, which I believe it is. Because I know that they are interested in Kelleher. I remember that, but they probably who wouldn't be interested in Elliott. I think he'd be an excellent choice for Bournemouth. If they were to give up those two players, getting a Kelleher and an Elliott would certainly help soften, if not be a bounce to their team as well, because bringing in a possibly one of the best goalkeepers in the league
as well.
Yeah. Bringing in one of the best goalkeepers in the league, and then bringing in, I think, one of the more under recognized or maybe under appreciated young talents in. I think because he's played in the Premier League for so long, he's still so very young. Elliott, I think that'd be exceptional for them to get an Elliott on their team. But again, going back to what I was just saying, I think that personally, the reasons why I wouldn't mind the KDBs or the Kanes or these older players is because I'm looking at it as I want to get 2 guaranteed players that I know we could get, that I know the type of output we should expect from them. And I'm not looking for it to be a long-term project with Harry Kane. I'm looking for it to be a long-term project with KDB. I'm looking at it as those two players implemented with these two players that need to have players that are ready and at the level, at the same, if not similar, if not higher levels as our current two legendary players. That's what I'm looking at it as. If you're looking at it differently, I'd love to hear it too.
I agree with you on that, Todd, because I was looking at the academy today, and they were playing the unders. Under 21s were playing Villa. Tyler Morton did well. Our goalie did well. But the two trays, Naomi and I can't say the other guy's name who we got.
Rio. Just call him Rio.
Those two were absolutely brilliant. I mean, the young tray we bought, he got 2 goals and was nearly on a hat trick. And don't get me wrong, Aston Villa played fantastic. They're really good. But I watched them and I thought, you could see them slotting in at some stage, and not too far away either, because they're playing quite assuredly, especially Trey Naomi. You think he'd been playing for years, the way he played, but the other guy's like a goal hunter. There's no doubt about it. And then the other guy, I think it's called Trent Cunningham. Is it Trent Kone Cunningham or something like that?
Oh, Trent Kone
Doherty.
Yeah, sorry. It was like an Irish name, but he played well as well. There was another Trent in there as well, made me laugh. I
remember Kone Doherty from when I still had LFC TV just over a year ago. The youth players, but I haven't seen them for like about a year now.
Yeah, he did well. He did well, and so you think, well, if going back to what 12th was saying, if you did get like Kane and De Bruyne who are ready-made, who can, you're just going to go out there and dominate. But it's not just that. What would they give as well to these young kids coming through? In that experience, because the likes of Bournemouth. In fact, Liverpool takes me back a bit 2 years ago when people would buy our players, not just for the player, as if they were buying Harvey or something like that, but they want to know the ins and outs of the club, because they know, like if we're top of the league and we're doing well in all competitions, they want to know what we're doing different on nutrition, on your training, on everything like that. So a lot of them want in there just to put that into their club to enhance their own training and nutrition and that. So I think that I'm going around the park a bit, but basically, going back, I do agree with you, 12. I think that's a good idea to get them in, but bring some of the youth through as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not
Are you able to watch the youth games whenever you want, Bernie?
Do you know, Lee, it wasn't on LFC, it was on YouTube today.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. If you look for them on YouTube, you get the full games,
Yeah, they show, and even if you don't, they have like 15-minute highlights and stuff. You never watch the whole lot, or they're easy found. I was watching the same game. I watched the highlights of the game you were watching, Bernie.
Yeah, what did you think, Brian?
The Villa game. Oh yeah, look, he's a great young player. I mean, but you just, at this stage, 16, 17, highly skillful, young attacking player. We all know how it goes. It either goes one way or the other.
Yeah.
So just wait and see. Let him get into the team. He's come in. He's looked good. We all know he has skills. That's why he's here. It's not like, wow, that guy's skillful. It's like, of course, we know he is.
Look at his
street player.
He's
he's doing it. But how do you step up? It's with a kid like him, it's got nothing to do with talent. Absolutely nothing to do with talent, because you can see it watching him. He's class little player. It's all about how do you take the step up when the pressure comes on and you're playing in the first team. It's the Premier League. It's not under 23s anymore. That's the only difference. That's when you find out. So you watch someone like him play football, you go, what a player. Clearly got all the skill, all the talent, all the ability, but can he do it in the Premier League? Can he do it in the Champions League when you get 5% of the ball that you used to getting, when you play with your mates? And the pressure is on, the cameras are rolling, your name is in the papers. Can you do it? Can you take that step up?
Yeah, can you do?
He's in our team, in that young team, because he's special.
But what,
But can you take the step up? If he can, what a player we have. If he can't,
I like the the 1-2 with him and Trey Naomi because he actually looks like he's a much he looks like he's much more experienced than he is. I think he's quite a skillful player, that lad. And I was watching him, easily slide the ball down to the other try, and I just thought, you could see there's a good combination with them two for the future if, like you say, if they make it. But if they do make it, it just looks good for the future. If we don't sell them, that's the other thing. You've got to hold on to them, haven't you?
Yeah, they used to watch the youth team on LFC TV. I didn't want to get rid of that, but it was part of my package for like Sky and all that, like it's part of an overall thing. Even though it's separate LFC TV, that goes like when you get it for your TV package. But I used to watch the youth team on that about a year ago now. It is since I've watched them, but yeah, there's some good games and that's some good young players.
Yeah, no, Brian, what did you think of our goalie, the young lad? I mean, I don't know his name, but
God, yeah.
Sounded French to me. His surname.
Yeah. There's a few names I didn't know. They always pop up, but yeah. Look, it's just so hard to know. They all look. The thing with Rio is, the goalkeeper looked decent, but the thing with Rio is, a lot of those boys will have like all that skill, and it'll be like that one little reason why. The one thing he has, which I think in the modern game, which it shouldn't have to be the most important thing, but it is, he has pace. He's really quick, and that unfortunately, like, sometimes gets, but he's got skill and he's got pace. Sometimes that's what holds, like, to me, a player like Woodburn. He was one of the slowest players I've ever seen. Amazing finisher, brilliant finisher, but I'd beat him in a 10-yard race.
But if you looked at those goals as well,
Slow, yeah.
No, but not him. Ria. When you looked at the goals, the way he had the ball stopped. He thought it wasn't like like even some of our players are like just kick and shove, aren't they? The hoping it's going to go in, but they haven't really placed the ball and thought about it and looked for the spot. But that young
You
lad
can't teach that.
Yeah,
you can't teach that kind of composure. That's you either have that or you don't. You can't teach that kind of ability to just drop the shoulder and wait for everybody else to move and know that you have time when it looks like you don't have time. You can't learn that. You can't teach it. You're born with it. You can finish maybe, but those players that can just know that they have more time than it looks like they have, take a step inside, and all of a sudden you've got an open goal.
That was
Can't
him,
teach it.
wasn't it? If you watched him, that was him. His composure under that pressure was fantastic, I thought.
Yeah, but it's just that step up, isn't it? It's just like, you can do that in an under 23s at home against Villa. Can you do it in the Burnabout in the Champions League semi-final? It's a whole other. It's a different sport. It's not a different venue. It's at that level, up against Rudiger, up against Valverde, up against Modric taking the piss out of you in the midfield, up against Vinny running past you. Can you track back as a right winger in a game like that when it's not going your way? Because that's the level. That's the level we want to be at.
But you never know, are you, till you try them and bring them in?
No, you're not. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying, oh, you can't do this, but I'm just saying that's when you find out. That's why it's so small, the percentage of these guys that actually make it. Because they're all class footballers. They're all brilliant players. But it's the brilliant players that can keep the discipline. They can stay professional. They can get to the point. Like, that's why you have the Milners and the Hendersons of this world. That those guys that, you have the ultra professionalism, there's always a place for that guy. You know, but the guy with all the skill and all the tricks, there's loads of them guys, but there's not many that can also add that to the dedication, like someone like Ronaldo, that dedication to training and all that stuff.
Do you
You know,
honestly
that's why
think?
they fall by the wayside sometimes. It's the hardest position, man.
Yeah. Do you honestly think Tyler Morton will make it?
Again, he's borderline. It's either going to happen for him soon. He'll make it as a pro, yeah,
Or will he make it with us?
yeah.
No,
But will it be for Stockport, Bolton,
no, he's not. He's better than Stockport Bolton. Yeah,
Brighton? Oh, sorry, not Stockport. I meant like Southampton, Bolton, Burnley, top of the Championship, lower level Premier League. But he'll make a career, definitely.
Yeah, and I'm with you. I
Is it
think
here?
I don't think he'd make it with us, but I do think he'll make it somewhere else.
I've only
again,
seen him play about 5 games of football. Do you know what I mean? I just know he can pass the ball. I just know that
he's
from
good.
deep. I know he can do that. He's good at that. Other than that, I don't know.
Wasted. Again,
I'd
wasted.
rather have the Shatic like in the squad next season than Tyler Morton.
No, Tyler Morton, nah, he won't. I don't even know why he was still there at the start of the season because and it's hard for a manager to come in, but he's just, I don't know, man. We're saying all these players, but will they get the chance? That's the problem. That's the problem. There's
Yeah,
no
that's
point
the thing.
putting
How do
him.
you get the chance? In
And
the
he's
in the
Yeah,
done
top
but you
level
have
game,
okay,
it's
to.
not just staff
hasn't he?
though.
He's
You
done
have
It's
to.
not
okay
just
You
the
have
way the
to at
for
manager.
some
us.
It's,
point.
it's the high level. It's the level of the Premier League.
I know, but at some point, Brian, you have to because otherwise, it's just a
But
pointless
Morton played. I
exercise.
think Bernie's bringing up Morton because in that game, I don't remember where we scored. Morton started in that game. He set up one of the goals. So he's back in. You know, comes into the first team. You see a little bit of him. He goes away to Blackburn. Has a brilliant season on loan at Blackburn.
And he
All their fans were raving about him, how good he is. He comes back
wasn't.
here, and then I don't think it's just onslaught. I just think it's the nature of the beast. Now he's back in the under 23s, which at least he's playing in. But yeah, how
Yeah,
long
but
does a
he's
guy
Elliot's
like
had a good loan at Blackburn too, didn't he?
no, wasn't it Hull? I'm sure it was
who?
Hull, wasn't it? Morton.
Who?
Hull. Hull.
Morton played for both. He played for
Yeah.
Blackburn and Hull. Yeah,
Yeah.
he played
Hull
for
was the
both.
last one before he came back. So I
Yeah,
know he was
he
there
played for both teams. Yeah.
played. Yeah.
Blackburn was where Harvey Elliott went on his loan, wasn't it? That time.
Yeah, he did well there, didn't he? Harvey Elliott.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bradley went to Bolton and won Player of the Season
Yeah.
in League One. Player of the
But
Season
again,
in League One.
yeah,
I think he was like 17, 18-year-old right back.
That's
He
probably why
like
it's with
he
us.
did brilliantly there. Absolutely brilliant.
again, they give him the chance to play, and like, yeah, they might gonna make one or two mistakes, but which player doesn't? Who knows? That's the thing. At least with Klopp, you give them the potential. At least you can give them a chance to say if they don't work out, they don't work out. Because at some point you have to. You have to. All right.
That's the thing with Bradley and that, isn't it? I think you know the way we're all really kind of
Yeah.
super positive about him.
Yeah.
You know, Trent's gonna leave, so we're all, but like we've got a great guy here. But we also have to remember like that he's a young player and he will have a dip in form.
Yeah.
It
That's
might
fine.
be in 6 months, it might be
Yeah.
in a year, but he's going to have a 4 month patch where he's not playing well.
Mhm.
So we need to remember that, don't we? Because we're all bigging up now, like thinking
Yeah. He's
like that
will.
goal he scored against Chelsea when he came in, or
Mm.
that's him now. He's not always going to be like that. If we
Mm.
are going to say he's going to start for us and we're going to back him, we also need to remember that maybe in a year's time he might be in a bad patch of form because he's still a young kid. So if we're going to back him, and not replace Trent with someone else, we have to be prepared to go through that period with Bradley, don't we?
Yeah. Yeah. We can get like I was saying before on your show the other day, Brian. When you're talking about Bradley, if he is going to be the first, like a Carl Walker, Peters, someone like that, at least that will give him, yeah, he'll play pressure, but at least we can rest. And yeah, it's going to happen. But when you're good enough, you've got to let these players just develop, and be. We're all seeing the potential of him, and yeah,
He
they just
wants
have to.
he wants
They're
to
done.
score as well, doesn't he, Bradley? He's desperate. He's a natural goal scorer as well. I think, as well as a right back.
Get
He's
some good assist.
Yeah, but at the same time, he's learning. Like at Leicester, once or twice, Madidi on the left was turning him, and he's got to learn when to stay tight or when to go back again. But it's a learning process.
yeah,
That's what players do. It's like Kwanzaa again. Like the online Liverpool, the majority of them, the fickle fan bases. I've seen the Liverpool podcast this time last year. I mean, I've talked about again. 12th man knows on Coppish, they're calling him VVQ. Drifty, and other people go, oh, it's VVQ. He's going to be, and he's never the next Virgil van Dijk. And I was never in that market. But then again, they go to that because he's brilliant last season, and go to this season. Oh, he's rubbish. He's trash. Get rid of him. And he's not trash. He ain't a crap footballer. He will become a good footballer, I believe, with us. But he's in the middle. You just
Yeah,
these guys. You just got to let
okay.
him go. Yeah.
You know what you were saying with just on that. You know what they
Yeah.
also embarrassed themselves with was
Mm.
when they all wet themselves over the condolences thing.
Mm.
They
Mhm.
went so over the top on that.
Ah,
Like, Canada, you're done, man. You're like the kids taking your like. They went so far over. Like Kwanzaa, obviously, if he'd had his time back, he ain't making that statement now.
yeah.
He ain't making that statement because guess what? Reverse condolences. You're getting taken off at halftime against Ipswich in the first game of the season. Ibu's taking his place back. Never lost it.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of content creators went totally overboard on that.
Oh, the
Ibu was done.
online. Yeah. The
Oh,
online.
condolences, mate. I was like, please stop saying that word.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
After about
It's
2 days,
insanity.
I was sick of hearing that word. You know, and acting like that was it now. Kwanzaa's in, Ibu is done, totally blowing it way out of proportion. And it's just like, he's a kid. This guy is still, like you're saying with Bradley, these young kids, especially playing, I mean, anything about Liverpool is pressure ratcheted up to 1,000%. But in defense, you know, they need time to breathe. Kwanzaa was always going to drop back out of the team. Always. But it was like, oh, that's it now. It's Kwanzaa and VVD. Ibu, you've lost your spot now. We've got the best young centre half in England. It's like, no, please calm down. Completely calm down. And what now? He's gone about a year. All he gets is what, a couple of appearances at right back, a few minutes here and there. That's how football can school you, change you. So yeah, they went too far overboard on him, man. Way too far over. Just let him breathe. Let him become like a top quality centre half, and by the time he's 24, not now, but
100%. 100%. And that's the difference. And again, I'm not saying us in this chat we're better than other Liverpool fans, but online or on other podcasts. But again, there has to be a balance. It's like, for instance, and don't worry, we're not going to get deep. sick of the sight of it. But Mr. Darwin Núñez, like for you, Brian, like I said, you've been constant with him. That you wanted him 6 months or however months. You said, you know what, it's just not for us. And
6-8 months, I'd say, yeah.
6 months, yeah. And you've just said, look, not a crap player, but he's a good, it's just not for us, and that's fair enough. That is fair enough. But our fans, you don't go over the top, and this is the problem. We can discuss, and we cannot like a player, but we're not going to say they're dead because they're professional footballers. You're just not for us unless they're what's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? Blocking out, or just they're gone, their head's gone, like a Balotelli who doesn't care. It's just
Oh, right, yeah.
yeah. But this is the difference. We can have a discussion, but we've got all these other the online fan bases, some our age and on other. I've seen it, and it's just embarrassing. It's just embarrassing,
Well, again, this channel does allow for you to have differing opinions. I don't agree with the statement completely that was just made, but I do. I think that
I should have brought another player up.
Yeah, possibly should have done. All right.
Yeah, maybe the wrong player.
It's all good. There is certainly a measure of room to have a debate on that on that individual player and other individual players as well. But yeah, we'll get into that. We'll get into that to another time, because we're at the 3-hour mark here, so we're going to be wrapping it up here. But I was going to allow for everyone to say something before we end the show here. So let's begin with Brian. Is there anything you want to talk about or bring up before we end the show?
No, again, just happy birthday to Nolante, because it's not midnight here yet, so it's still his birthday. So happy birthday again to Nolante, and just look out for. Yeah, I'll do a show probably tomorrow. 12 I'll do a show tomorrow. We're going to be back on the wagon pretty soon. That weekend is coming up. I mean, we all know what's going to happen at the weekend. We all know what's going to happen. So basically, we're just going to start building up to that. So the excitement is going to start. We're going. Yeah, we're trying to be a little bit cool, but the excitement is going to start creeping in now soon. So we're only a couple of days away from the inevitable happening. So. Yeah, just look out for more shows, plenty of shows.
Okay. So the only inevitable thing is whether the Pigeon gets a yellow card or if he gets a goal this weekend. That's probably the only thing I'm looking at. Lee, is there something you'd like to say to the people, or anything you want to alert them or talk about real quickly?
Do you think Trent's decision to, out of character for Trent, to take his shirt off to celebrate the winner? Do you think him scoring the winner in that game is him saying, "Yeah, I am off, but I'm still here and can score the winner for now"? Or do you reckon there's any chance whatsoever he could stay?
Yeah. There you go. The mural is still up, as you can see behind me. So B, is there anything you'd like to say to the people, or anything that you want to talk about real quick before we?
I'd just like to ask everybody, will you say a prayer for me tonight? Because tomorrow I'm going to be at Manchester Airport picking up my friend who's a Manchester United fan, and I've got him here for a few days. So, so please send me your best wishes.
How great is it going to be, though? You get to see hopefully he'll be there when we win the Premier League, and you can just look at him and say, "How's 20 feeling?"
Well, actually, no, he's going off to see some family, while he's out. He lives in Austria, so he's going off to see some family, so he won't be here when we win. But to be fair,
he's dipping out.
He's dipping out. But to be fair, I must say, I call him a genuine football fan, because although he supports, our enemies. He's first to say the absolutely garbage, and he watches us now more than he watches them, because he thinks our football's better, So so no, he would have liked to watch us, I think, win, even though he, at heart, he's obviously he's a Mancunian, but now we have some lively debates, about the football. But when I used to live in Anglesey. And he used to work for me then, and we'd watch it's around. We watch United today, and we watch Liverpool tomorrow, or whenever they were playing. And he'd say to me, "You've got to support United while we're watching it, and I'll support Liverpool with you." And you know what? Honest to God, I could have had, could have been shot for lying, because he'd say to me, "What do you think of that?" And I said, "Oh, that's terrible. You should have had that was a free kick for you there." And I was delighted that they didn't get it, And then he'd say to me, then, he'd say, "Oh, like Gerrard's done brilliant there, hasn't he?" And I knew he never meant it. So we used to do this dance where he'd pretend, he was backing us, and I'd pretend I was backing them. But we both were delighted if the other one lost, But we're still good mates, so that's the main thing.
That's good.
To be honest, when Trent has scored before, loads of other players have scored as well. Like he scored when we thrashed people. That's the first time in ages, if at all, he scored the winner for us. In that, he scored the winner like in a big game like that. It might be his last big moments in a Liverpool shirt. He's had plenty like over the years, but that could be the last big moment for him scoring the winner in that match. And it'd be a good way to sign off actually, like because we can win the title now, can't we? In the very next match, so
Yeah.
it's a good one.
Yeah.
Like one had scored in the winner for him if he is going.
Do you know what I'd love though, Lee? I would absolutely love on the day, if we win the title, that he turned around and he said, "I've signed my contract, I'm not going." Because the people who've hated on him would feel really stupid.
Yeah.
And we get to keep a great player at the end of the day, So he's quite pragmatic, Trent. I think he'd be laughing up his sleeve. So I wouldn't mind that. I'd love it if he stayed.
Yeah, it'd be nice. Very nice.
Yeah, a lot of his other goals in the past were like as part of a thrashing of a team, weren't they? Like when he scored away to Leicester, when we just won the Club World Cup and then we come back, or the game before we went, we thrashed Leicester 4-1 away under Klopp, and I think in that match,
when we're looking, like a lot of the fans are hating because they're thinking he's going on a free and he's cost us. We could have got 100 million for it or whatever. But you know what? That's politics to do with the club, and it's nothing to do with him or us. So I think what we've got to look at the service he's given us and what he's done for us, and the pleasure he's given us, while he's played for us, and he's been Liverpool through and through like a bar of rock. He's got Liverpool stamped through him. So. Yeah. If he goes, I'm going to wish him the best, and if he stays, I'll be thrilled. That's my last thing on it.
It's a short career, isn't it, for them?
Yeah, and was he 6 or 7 when he came to us?
6.
All those years, he's given to us. It's so short-sighted of those fans to turn on him now. It's horrible, really.
Oh no, let a person live,
Yeah.
Support your club and all that, but when you don't take it beyond that, there's a line, We all know there's a line. So just be angry, be upset, but yeah, these people who take it beyond the line, that's
it's not his fault his contract was sorted, is it? It's not his fault they didn't offer him another contract. To leave it so late, it's not his fault. It was the club, So how they can take it on him, I don't know.
I don't know about that one, Bernie, but we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, exactly. I think there was a very large amount of money left on the table for quite a long time.
Yeah,
and
He made his
pen
mind up.
and a piece of paper.
Yeah, he's kind of made his mind up.
Yeah, but do you think though he could have left it like that because he's waiting to see? He didn't know what slot was going to be like. So his mentor's gone, Klopp, and he wasn't sure whether Trent and Salah would have gone either. So so for him to think, he's probably thought, well, hang on, I'm going to wait, see what happens. And in that time, his head's been scrambled by Madrid, and then all the fans have turned on him. So I wouldn't blame him in that, but we'll never know.
Alternative scenario, Barney. Alternative scenario. He wanted to join Madrid. He made up his mind last summer and said, doesn't matter what you're going to offer me, I'm going to go to Madrid. So thanks for your offer, thanks for your contract. Stop making a big deal out of stuff. I'm going to stay here for a year, and then I'm going to Madrid. That's the way I read it. He decided he was leaving last summer. Said, look, you can offer me 300, you can offer me 350, you can offer me 400. I've made a decision as a person, as a player, and I'm going to leave. Next summer on a free and go to Madrid. I know that doesn't work for you guys in terms of money and stuff, but that's my right to do that, and I've decided to do that. So for me, the second we started this season with him not having signed a new contract, told me, because he's not an idiot, he knows what that plays like. I said he's not signing, because if he was going to sign, he wouldn't have gone into this new post-Klopp era with that hanging over his head. He would have made the statement that said he was going to sign.
But
Got
why
his
would,
400 grand a week. So to me, it was immediate from day one.
why
He was
wouldn't he?
not going to stay.
Why wouldn't he say though, Brian, and say, you know what?
Why does he have to? Why does he have to come out and say anything? Doesn't have to. It's not his contract. It's not his job description. You can ask him questions. Like I said, it's not his job. I think he played it fairly straight back. He knew, say nothing from day one. Let it happen as it is. Let people make up their own stories. But the obvious is eventually going to become true. We've got a couple of weeks left in the season, a couple of games, and he hasn't signed a new deal. Why do we think he's all of a sudden? It's so. Yeah,
Well, yeah,
straight up, he's played a straight bat.
all I'd say to you on that is, although I respect your football knowledge, K-Mac has more. I'm only joking.
Well, he's got the sources. K-Mac has the sources, the resources,
He's got
the barbecue sauces.
Rumor has it that K-Mac's best friends with Edwards and Hughes.
Well, I've just heard many. His car has been seen many times at the Formby Manor out there. That's all I know. Maybe he's the DJ for the private parties of the LA or the Liverpool players at Formby. What? Formby Manor, is it? We said Formby House or something.
What's that
Formby
song?
Manor.
That's the DJ.
Yeah, maybe K-Mac is the DJ of choice for the Liverpool players. Maybe that's how he knows.
Well, I mean, you think you've got the knowledge, but if you were going to do the London taxis and it was going to be K-Mac, I think he'd know more. That's all I'm saying.
Possibly, but
We're only joking.
yeah, leave K-Mac alone. He's not here to defend himself.
I know.
No, I like K-Mac. I think he's a nice guy.
We're not. Yeah, I know. We're just.
We're only teasing, aren't we? K-Mac.
It's all teasing, for sure.
We're trying to do the what is it, Candyman thing, where you talk about people on stream that they have attendance.
Yeah, exactly. You say his name enough that he'll pop up.
Yeah, the YouTube grapevine is alive and well. It's undefeated.
He watches the show pretty regularly, so big up to him. Big up. But last but not least, Delonte, birthday boy. Anything you'd like to say?
It's lot's been said. All negotiations on the table.
21 again.
Indeed. I think we'll be sticking to the 21. Who's next in the list? Whose birthday's next on the list in the group?
I'm on the 15th of May. I'll be 52.
Okay, so you're next, Lee.
No, he's not. He's not. I'm before him.
Oh, yeah, when's your bro?
9th of May.
All right, I'm going to mark that down. 9th and 15th next month, guys. You heard it first, ladies and gentlemen. The 9th and 15th of next month. Mark it down in your calendars. But what I will say is appreciate the guys' panels. Obviously, we're speaking on day and the birthday wishes. Appreciate you all. My day is over, and I will leave you as this. Good night, everyone. Liverpool go to win the league 20 times. Man United are still win the bin. Lee, can you sing?
Yeah, I see a few Man United songs, about them being in the bin.
It's all right. It's all right, Lee. We'll delay it. We'll delay it. We're over time. So, but yeah. Good night. God bless everyone. And yeah, let's have a party. Not a Friday party, a Liverpool 12-man party on Sunday. Good night, all.
Yes.
Yeah, brilliant.
Going to do a roll call. Going to do possibly it's going to be a momentous roll call because we're going to be 90 minutes away from possibly lifting number 20 that day. It'll be a great feeling, great time. It'll be great to experience it, to share the moment with everyone together.
I mean, there's an outside chance we could be denied on the day, isn't there? Like, we could be denied.
Oh, no.
Charlison's back now, isn't he? But Charlison's back to haunt us, like, so
Lee,
he'll probably
is your middle name Debbie?
involved, won't he, in doing his usual thing against us.
I can just mute him if you want.
Lee, is your middle name Debbie? Because you heard
Please.
Debbie.
Yeah, please do. Please do. Lee, you're banned.
He's muted. Sorry, Lee. I've just muted you. I'm sorry. I don't ever want to do that. But yeah, you deserve to get muted for 10 seconds.
12. Can I just say, whenever you're having a party on Sunday, can you ask the chat and the panel to write a song about the favourite player and has to rhyme with their name, and we'll give Lee Slobber's Life.
Yeah. Good luck on that one. Yeah.
Got a Ray Wilkins one.
Yeah.
Don't start. No, you don't.
Yeah.
No, you don't. No.
Quickly.
No.
But shout out to everyone that's joined us today. Shout out to our great panel today. Kept it live and definitely fun and interesting. But we will be back tomorrow, or actually I will not be having a show tomorrow, but as Brian said, he'll be having a show. Maybe some of the guys might be holding down this channel tomorrow, possibly, but if not, there's always some other options out there, as you know, as you well see. But all the same, I would like to say that it's been another memorable time with the crew here. I'd like to thank each and every one of you that joined us today in making today a special day for all of us. We got to see us get one step even closer to this title. We're now going from needing a W, going from needing a win to a draw. So let's do it in style. Let's win and just like pop the collars, a little 3-6 Mafia for you out there, and get this one over the line and get number 20. So until tomorrow, or possibly Friday, but certainly until then, we wish you everything well in your lives, and we also wish that you join us. Whichever platform we're going to be on tomorrow, definitely join us tomorrow. So we will see you then. All the best, and as always, my friends, my Reds up there, up the Reds, each and every time, up the Reds. We'll see you guys soon.